Just run with it that way. I forgot to put the audio on.
Yeah, it's fine. We'll make do. We can deal with it later.
Right.
You guys probably want me this way, right?
It's whatever you're comfortable
Hey,
with.
that works.
Let me try and get it. There we go. Oh, there we almost go. There. So I don't talk to, as long as I don't touch too many things, we'll be all right.
Sounds like me. I can't do too. I'm technologically challenged, and if I play with too much, it doesn't like me. I know what I want. Let me get a couple more shares out here real quick.
Right. Say hi to Julie. She's in the chat room.
That was fast.
Yep. She's our listener from Australia.
Cool.
Oh yeah, we got a lot of people from overseas somehow. But Mr. Color, it's nice to finally get you on here.
Thank you. Sorry for the previous weeks. You know, it's just things get kind of crazy. I appreciate being here. Please call me Boone, brother.
Yeah, I got you. I know we've been talking on and off for a while. So for you and some of our new listeners, what the Second Amendment Ranch is, we talk about the importance of firearms safety, knowledge, and education of everybody. So it's not just a basic, like veterans need to know it, police need to know it. No, everybody needs to know gun safety. Whereas I don't agree with requiring a permit to carry a firearm. I do agree with some kind of training for people. And that's kind of what we want to do here is educate people about gun safety continuously. We always get these nightmare stories about a child getting a hold of a firearm and, you know, people wanting to take away the guns and take away our liberties and rights and everything like that. So I had actually set up quite a few questions for you today, and I'm really interested to get your takeaway on the importance of the Second Amendment and the education of people. So to start off, you know, how important is firearm safety for you?
Well, first of all, it's about responsibility, right? And if we're going to have certain rights, we can take responsibility for those rights. And if people are out there jackassing around, they don't know what they're doing. They've overestimated their level of competency with the firearm. They're going to have problems. And when they have those problems are going to affect other people. When they affect other people, it affects all of our rights. So I don't think there is a way to be pro Second Amendment without taking the responsibility for firearm safety.
I can agree with that. Somebody needs to be responsible, but unfortunately, the people that are trying to be responsible are trying to take away the freedoms of the law-abiding citizens. And that putting in new laws isn't going to do anything for the people if you're trying to confiscate firearms. Whereas if you try and educate the people on a large scale, that's beneficial, but no criminal's going to listen to any new law that they put out here.
Yeah, I agree, and that's the same thing that's said over and over and over again. But we also have to acknowledge the fact, just like no criminal is going to acknowledge firearms laws or any types of laws. That's their business as being a criminal. There are other people in our country whose business it is to take away the Second Amendment. And they're going to use anything that they have. They're going to use anytime someone uses it dangerously against innocent people. They're going to use factors of safety. They're going to use all these things. But ultimately, I believe their goal is to just simply remove firearms from the populace. And we have to acknowledge those folks, too, and not give them the ammunition. If we so appreciate this right, then we don't need to give the opposing forces the information and the data that they can use against us.
No, I fully agree. In fact, we've actually had two guests from the UK and Sweden come on here and explain how their gun laws and their crime statistics, and just because they have taken away guns over in the UK doesn't mean their crimes aren't ridiculous right now. In fact, they've seen a spike in acid attacks, knife attacks, hammers, blunt force objects, just physical beatings. So just because you take away the guns from law-abiding citizens doesn't mean you're going to stop somebody from doing a crime in the first place.
That's true, but I think does everybody have equal opportunity to acid I mean, can I carry acid in the UK so I can protect myself against an acid attacker? I mean, it sounds like a good time on a Friday night, but when we're talking about when we're talking about actually protecting ourselves, that's the beautiful thing about the United States. If someone tries to or wants to attack you with any object, you have the right to possess a firearm to defend yourself. And so all the other things kind of fall underneath that umbrella. But at the end of the day, it's like you're saying, it doesn't matter where you go, where you live, people can become violent and people can attack other people. The question is, are you living in a country that gives you the right to protect yourself?
Exactly. That's why it's so important to back. I love how Missouri's going about things right now. They're basically shutting the federal government down, saying no law you pass, we're going to recognize. In fact, they've had many of their different sheriffs come forward and say, just because you pass this law federally doesn't mean we're going to enforce it.
Yeah, the sheriffs have have greater constitutional authority than the governors. And especially with all the stuff that's been happening, you're starting to see these constitutional counties pop up. Lancer County, Nevada is an excellent one. Lancer County, Nevada stood up and said, hey, listen, we're not going along with all the federal mandates. We're not going along with what our governor says. And now 8 other counties in Nevada have followed suit. And so all the problems that were being directed from these shutdowns and from these all-empowering edicts that were sent out, those problems are going away, and it's mainly because the people are utilizing their constitutional rights, and the sheriffs are using their constitutional authority to say, hey, we're not going to enforce this stuff. It's not legal where we're at.
Oh, I fully agree with that. I think we're seeing small trends where it's continuously climbing. It's not climbing as fast as I would like or hope for it to go, but more and more states and more counties are going to a constitutional sanctuary. Now, on that, how much do you think the mainstream media bastardizes firearms, the veteran community, and suppressors?
Okay, that's a heck of a cluster there. Suppressors, firearms.
Okay, well, let's start with how they bastardize statistics for firearms.
Well, it's all a game, right? I mean, it's all a game. It's the information game. It's what statistic can I build a narrative around to achieve the goal from the populace by motivating their emotions. It's going to happen over and over again. That's the game. We just have to understand. We keep acknowledging the fact that they're playing this game. Well, that's great. I think we already know it. So what are we going to do? How are we going to correct that? How are we going to resolve it? How are we going to have our opposing opinion get heard? Those are the issues that are not being addressed right now. And I wish they would. I mean, we're complaining about big tech censoring us. We're complaining about the media slanting things. And that's all fine and dandy. And if it wasn't for shows like yours getting the information out to show people there's a different opinion going on, there's a whole group of people that support this other opinion, I don't think we'd have much of anything. So I just want to commend you for your show for doing this, because this is the way we get the word out. We don't have the support of the mainstream media. We don't have the support of big tech. So it's going to be the little guy building their network and working their underground, angles to be able to get the information out.
Oh,
you're exactly right.
Facebook hates our show with a passion.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say that right now. Now, with firearms and everything going on, do you see the media? I know you've played a huge part in helping the veteran community. I mean, you founded the Spartan Pledge. How much do you think the mainstream media kind of puts a bad light to the veteran community?
I don't think they try and put a bad light to the veteran community directly. I mean, some do, without exception, some do. But I think they're generally, if you're looking at a campaign, they don't really want to demonize the folks in the military right now. They're just trying to separate them. And that's the whole thing. So bringing attention to things that are kind of off our beaten path, like our beaten path is, we want to deal with homelessness. We want to make sure that, all the drug issues that were created by the pharma by the pharma years that gets taken care of. We want to take care of our warfighters that are dealing with the burn pit issues and all toxicity issues that came from being in the military. Being around the lead, being around the arsenic, being around all this stuff, just being in a shoot house for a day, your lead levels are already through the roof at toxic lead levels. So, and we've all done this kind of things. It causes health issues. And then those health issues turn into other issues, which cause family issues. And now we've got, our kids. We got to take care of our kids and figure out how to unfuck some of the stuff we fucked up. And that's where our community's really at. That's where, if the media wanted to do something, they could help us bring attention to things like the Spartan Pledge, and which they do. I'm not gonna hold them. I'm not gonna say that they're ignoring it, but when they're doing the right thing by us, they're doing the things that we're trying to help ourselves with. When they're not doing the right things by us, they're separating us from the populace by demonizing us in some form or fashion.
Oh, very much so. And I completely agree. I mean, I've already got more radiation levels than your typical. I was on nuclear submarines for 4 years, and I already have more radiation levels than most people will see in a lifetime. But
exactly.
The VA, they're not going to look at that. They're just going to, oh, well, we'll give you this percentage because we can say, yeah, your body's going to be messed up. But I've got so many other veteran friends that have to continue. I mean, it took me 2 years to go through the VA. I've got some buddies that are going on 5 years still fighting.
And that will continue. I mean, that goes on. And sadly, not every VA is the same. Right. I live in Reno, Nevada. I've got a fantastic VA hospital here. I've lived in other places. It wasn't so great. I went to Columbus, Ohio one time. They asked me never to come back again. It's quite, and then they told my home VA that I was told never to come back again. The VA, each one has its own personality, and I think they mean well, but they don't exactly execute their plan the same way. Some execute it better than others. In Reno, it's great. I in the past when I was down in Long Beach was great. And I'm not going to say who's not so great because I don't need that kind of trouble in my life. But and things change. The VA may have been 15 years ago, I might not have been a fan of the VA in Reno, but today it's gone through a lot of changes and stuff, and it's doing fantastic.
That's good to hear. Good. You were mentioning a plan. Continuing with that, how important do you think it is for veterans that get out of the military to find that next mission?
Well, we know as warfighters, we need two things to survive in any operational environment. That's a battle buddy and a mission. So I think it's not only is it important, I think the tools are in place now. 10 years ago, probably more than that now, when I started doing all the advocacy that I do, everybody was new on the scene. Social media was a thing guys were figuring out. But now, I mean, it doesn't matter pretty much what city or county you live in around the country. You can go on social media. You can find a whole group of veterans right there and, willing to accept you into the group and at least get you plugged in with things that are going on. We didn't have that 10 years ago. And the other thing that we have now that we didn't have before is, and now we have something to bitch about. In the past, we didn't have a veteran community. Now we have one. So therefore, we will bitch about it. What's the positive? If we didn't have one, we wouldn't have anything to bitch about. So it's a good thing when people are bitching about it because it tells me at least we exist. Where, quite honestly, 10 years ago, we did not exist. Right. We did not exist. We had to build it. We are the first generation of warfighter that has transformed and taken our entire community and put it on a digital space so we can reach out to everybody else.
Yeah. Now, following up, we've talked about the Spartan Pledge. How many people have you gone with and taken the Spartan Pledge?
Me personally, or how many people have gone on to take it?
Let's go with both.
Well, I'll do my best. I mean, we know that I've had at Spartan Pledge ceremonies, I've had as many as 1,000, 2,000, numerous times, and those hopefully a good percentage of them went on to take it with other people. I've personally taken the Spartan Pledge with more people than I can count. It's just a common thing, and I try and pass that off because I'm trying to create, venues for other people to take it with other people, so it doesn't always come back to me. That was never the intention. I'm not at the top of a tree. I'm just part of the tree, and that's the important thing. But the Spartan Pledge has done very, very well. So much to the point that, it's now been recognized by the VA hospital as a tool that they can use for their suicide prevention. Where 10 years ago, even 4 years ago, I was so shunned by the VA because of the word "until." That one word inside the Spartan Pledge, "until," got me a lot of grief. But this is grief from people that didn't understand our ethos, and the way "until" is used really defines us as a community, because that first sentence of the Spartan Pledge, "I will not take my life by my own hand until I talk to my battle buddy first." And of course, the second line is, "My mission is to find a mission to help my warfighter family." But that word "until I talk to my battle buddy first," there were so many mental health professionals who were like, "Oh, you can't say until, like it's okay." And, when you do it at that point, well, they didn't understand us. For our community, 2 is 1 and 1 is none. So if you are by yourself and you have that funky funk going on in your brain, you're an incomplete person. You're dealing with your traumatic self, not your actual self. But when you reach out to a battle buddy, what are we taught to do in the military all the time? Where's your battle buddy? Where the fuck is your battle buddy? You're always taking care of each other. So when we connect, that histrionic behavior, that negative feedback loop dissipates. So it's not like you can remain that level of suicidal once you've made the connection, because once you've made the connection, it breaks the negative loop and you can do something better. And then you have the follow-up. The follow-up is, now you have to stay engaged with the community. You have to have a mission with the community. So the first part of the Spartan Pledge gets you out of that immediate trouble. And it's a battle drill. It's what to do when you don't know what to do. So if you're stuck there in the funky funk and you don't know what to do, now you know what to do. What's the battle drill? Contact your battle buddy. That's the battle drill. I don't know what to do. I'm confused. I'm gonna blow my fucking head off. I'm a burden to my family. The world will be better without me. All that bullshit that you tell yourself. Well, when you hear that bullshit in your head, you need to get somebody on the phone. That doesn't mean send them a text. That doesn't mean, send them an email. That doesn't mean send a screwy meme to make them laugh. That means, I need to talk to you. That's what that means. I need to talk to you. You get them on the phone, and then you just fucking let that shit go.
Yeah. Now, for people that don't have, I've got my battle buddy right here. For people that don't have a battle buddy, what's the best advice you can give them to find one?
Well, if you're on social media, which most people are, you can find people. I'm serious. It would not be hard for anybody in America right now to look into social media groups, veterans, I don't know, Gary, Indiana. And you're going to find veterans groups for Gary, Indiana. And you're just going to be like, "Hey, I'm new in town. I don't know anybody. Can I link up with somebody? I'm the new guy." And somebody's going to take pity on you and pull you under their wing. They wouldn't be setting up these groups if they didn't want people to do that. So that's you've got to engage. You've got to be able to make that first step on your own. But once you make that first step on your own, then you're going to have a little bit of help.
Oh yeah. For anybody that's actually struggling with that, it's just like a Band-Aid. If you're nervous about it, the best thing you can do is just rip that Band-Aid right off and do it.
Yeah, just get it done. They're not going to shun you. They created the group for you to come and say, "Can I be in your group?" Otherwise, they wouldn't have created a group. They wouldn't have told people about it.
Yeah. And as far, you mentioned the drug issues we have with the veteran community right now. What kind of medication or cures or help do you think would be better than just having veterans take loads and loads of antidepressants, painkillers, and all these other poisoning pills that they're putting into their bodies? Do you think there are better ways for them to cope with the issues they have?
I think that some people are coping great, and I think other people are not coping great. And those that are coping great need to put their information out so those that need the help can find it. I wasn't trying to plug a book today when you asked me to come on your show, but I wrote a book exactly about this. It's called FPL, Functional Personalized Lifestyle. And it's a very short book. I think it's 68 pages. You can read it in an hour. And I made it TBI friendly, so it's in verses like Sun Tzu was written. And it's got all the information. I tell my story, all the things that didn't work, all the things that did work, all the things that continue to work. And it's about putting yourself back together. It's when you come out of the military, sometimes it's like all the pieces of your puzzle are in the wrong places, and you just need to figure out where they fit again. And that's a lot about what that is. But There are absolutely other modalities and treatments that work. I think cannabis and cannabinoids have been fantastic for helping people. Stem cells, hyperbaric oxygen. Um, I could go on and on. I'm trying to right now. Just being able to maintain a functional lifestyle in the way that you can. One of the biggest problems that a lot of warfighters have when they get out of the military is they don't learn how to PT like a civilian. They still think they need to. They're not PTing like a civilian. They think they can maintain that same op tempo of military PT training. And if you've been injured, you can't maintain that anyway. So you're going to have to find new ways to do PT. You're going to have to watch your diet. You got to control your sugar. You got to control your drinking. You got to be smart about things and make yourself combat effective again, with by using the tools that we have right now, right here, available on where you're at, wherever you're at, it's available. So I encourage people to find other ways to do that. And if you do want to get my book, half the proceeds go to the Task Force Dagger Foundation, Soft Health Initiatives. You can get it on Amazon. It's called FPL, just like Final Protective Line. Well, your FPL, your Functional Personalized Lifestyle, is your Final Protective Line. That's how you stay alive in a crunch.
Yeah. Bocephus Jr. is asking for your advice on what advice you would give to a vet that has served 3 tours and is struggling to adapt to be a civilian again.
I think all the post-combat life changes, the first thing is identifying, what your immediate issues are. And usually one of our first immediate issues that we have to come to terms with is that we are adaptable, and we need to maintain that adaptability. If we can adapt to, going to your initial training, basic training, boot camp, whatever you call it for your particular service, you had to adapt. Otherwise things weren't going to go well. You get out of the military, you get out of the basic training, you go to your unit, you have to adapt again, or things aren't going to go well. You get into a combat environment, well, you have to adapt yet again, or things are not going to go well. Well, once you get on this side of the wire in the civilian world, you have to adapt again. Otherwise, things are not going to go well. And understanding what opportunities and what tools and assets you have available to make that adaptation occur is very, very important. And we get that through talking with other warfighters. We get that through paying attention to people who are saying very positive things, watching things like Soft Health Initiatives. And find them on social media. Watch what they're putting out. Watch the stuff that they're putting out with Burn Pits 360. They put out good medical information too. But as far as the mindset goes, understand you're never going to be a civilian again. It doesn't happen. It doesn't work that way. You're a war fighter. You've been through that change. We don't try to adapt so much to the civilian community as much as we try to infiltrate it. And when you infiltrate it, you need to know how they act, what they do, and you need to understand the operational environment. So understand the operational environment of this side of the wire and be adaptable so you can infiltrate.
Yeah, that's probably the best advice I've ever heard.
I was going to say that's great advice, especially for the one in the chat room that just asked. He'll be out in 6 weeks. And he's had to adapt back and forth, and coming out in the position he's in now, he's going to have to adapt quite a bit.
Adaptability is, that's a combat imperative. That's what we do. We already do it. But the thing is, nobody's over you when you go into the civilian world. Nobody's sitting there. You don't have a supervisor. You don't have a sergeant. You don't have somebody going, hey, motherfucker, here's how we adapt here. You're going to act like us. That doesn't happen. So you have to be your own sergeant. And you have to be your own sergeant that says, hey, motherfucker, this is what we're doing now. Square that shit away. You have to build your internal squad leader that squares you the fuck away. And you got to be honest about that, and you got to listen.
That's right.
Yeah. The advice I had gotten when I first got out is to bite your tongue, grit your teeth, shut up, and just do whatever crap you need to do to get by. And that was probably the worst advice I've ever gotten. I mean, when I got out, I crawled right back into a bottle, and it was hell. So don't just take it alone. He's covered before. Find a battle buddy. I'm stuck being a firefighter and a drill instructor. Oof.
Yeah, that's why I said he's going to have he's got to adapt in different ways here.
And I think it's easier to adapt when you look at the situation not as me against them, me having to change, me having to make this, I don't know, be pleomorphic and do all these things. I look at it as like, okay, this is my challenge. How do I get infiltrate that group? And then how do I influence that group? That right there, just playing that little game, play the psyop game, play that little game. It takes on, because we're competitive people. And so when we start challenging ourselves with that type of competition, with that type of skill, like, all right, motherfucker, are you smart enough to figure this shit out? How are you going to infiltrate and influence that group of people? Because that's your fucking mission. And by doing so, you're just going to be better off yourself.
Yeah. Now we've taught you, I've read into, you've got a lot of books out there. You've got a huge social media following right now. Would you ever consider running into politics?
I don't want to be a senator, but I'd like to own a few. Politics. I try and stay. The best way to do politics is to not look like you're doing politics. And we've got great relationships with different people within the political realm, and they work very, very hard, and they do their job, and I do mine. And right now, I like that relationship. For me to step back from what I do now and into a different role, I'm not so sure I'm the best guy for that role. So I like to leverage what I can do best with, and put that into the place that I can put myself, positioning. I'm not so sure I'm the right guy. Not at this phase in my life. I'm not the right guy because I think there's certain things I care about. I'll tell you the story. I remember Alan West, after he got elected to Congress in Florida. He was in an airport. And primarily, I know he cared about all positions and all issues of a constituency and everything else. He's a very knowledgeable guy. He's very smart. He knows how to manage things. He's a good dude. But I'm pretty sure in my mind that when he became congressman, he didn't realize he was going to have 10 screaming people at his door, wanting to talk to him about, the red cockaded woodpecker and how, everybody needs to protect them. And, that they want to cut, $4 million off of the budget to, protect a protected species, which I'm not saying it's not important. I'm just saying that's maybe not the realm. That's not the lane you want to travel in life. You don't know about it. And so as a politician, you have to understand you're going to be dealing with all the issues that you don't know shit about. I know I'm very smart. I know I'm smart enough to know that I know about this. I know about this topic right here. All this other shit right out here, it's not my bag, man.
No, I agree with you on that one. I'm educated in my own ways and very stubborn in that same sense. And going into politics, I think, would be a nightmare, especially with how much they dig up your past and try and blackmail you for stuff you did 20 years ago. I mean, look at basically any Republican politician in history. When they wanted to get rid of them, they started digging 20, 30 years into the past, trying to find anything to put a little smudge on the record.
Now, what you just told me is you're not a narcissist, because you're right. The average human being is going to go, I don't want to put up with that bullshit. I do not want to put up with that bullshit, because it's not even about what you did. It's about what they can make people think you did. And then you feel like you got something hanging over your head all the time. But a true narcissist doesn't give a shit about that. They just want to achieve. And they look past that. And I'm not saying that, I'm not using that as a negative term. I'm saying this is a condition of the environment. If you're in that environment, you have to have a certain level of confidence that may even breach the barrier of narcissism just to be able to do it. I mean, especially in today's world, you have real time. Hey, so-and-so is at a restaurant right now. Here's a picture of them picking their nose. I mean, anything, everything, being able to meeting a colleague that works in a different area and it happens to be a member of the opposite sex, or they might be gay or something like that. Now all of a sudden you got to ferret all this other stuff and your family's got to deal with it and everything else. And it's anybody can say anything at any time. So I think politicians of today are very special. I think they walk a very fine line between extreme confidence and utter narcissism.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. I think our previous president definitely had some narcissistic tendencies.
I think it's, like I said, it's a condition of the environment. You can look at it and we can judge it and whatever, but you guys like you and I probably aren't going to make that step to politics because we don't have the filter in our mind that says fuck all that bullshit. We care. I care about what people think about me. I care about my integrity. I care about being able to be upstanding. I absolutely know I'm not fucking perfect. I don't think anybody. I don't think it would shock anybody if a headline broke out tomorrow and said Boone Cutler, put his fist through a fucking wall because he was pissed off. I don't think anybody goes, no, not Boone. I don't think that would happen. So, but I just don't want to. It's just not my bag, man. I like where I sit right now. I'm perched in a pretty good place. I get to help the community. I can reach out to people. Most people will pick up the phone when I call and just say, let me put this bug in here. This is what's going on, and this is how I think we can fix it. Let me know how I can support you. I like that role. I like being able to maintain that position for right now.
That's good. Now, back to the gun topics. Do you think we've covered in the past weeks where President Biden has pushed for 6 gun laws that he's going to sign in. What's the term I'm looking for?
Executive order.
Yeah, that executive orders. How do you think that's going to blow over?
Well, I think it's going to have the desired effect they want. Think about that for a minute. It's going to create a desired. It's going to create an effect, and I don't think they would be doing it if it didn't get the effect they wanted.
Yeah, I think it's going to cause a lot of problems, and unfortunately, that's what they're looking for is something to blow up, so that way they can go, well, see, this is the importance of passing House Bill 127. Have you heard about that bill yet, though?
Tell me about it so I know we're talking about the same thing.
Basically, House Bill 127 bans every firearm beyond a revolver and a break-open shotgun. If you're caught with anything like that, it's a huge fine, federal offense. If you want to keep your AR-15s, you can't have anything over a 50 caliber. You cannot have magazines over 10 rounds. Any magazine you do have that's at 10 rounds, it's like $200. Any semi-automatic firearm that you want to keep, it's another $200. They're looking at charging $800 annually for you to keep your firearms. They want to require people to get ammunition licenses.
Insurance. $800 insurance a year paid to the Attorney General.
Wow. Sounds like they're going to make some money.
Not like for me. I'm broke as shit. You think I'm going to pay you for the guns I already own?
No, these were all lost in a boating accident.
Yeah, they're not going to. I mean, you know the deal. We already know the deal. It's about how we're going to organize and defend against it. The deal is they're creating problems. They're trying to get groups to self-identify. They're trying to get identify people that are going to be against this type of thing so they can start targeting them specifically. They're going to demonize firearms. They're going to demonize anything and everything that has to do with individual self-protection, with self-reliance. Self-reliance is enemy number one to our enemy. They do not want us self-reliant. That is exactly the opposite of what they want. They don't want our country to be sovereign. They don't want the individual to be self-reliant. They want to be able to control things from the top down so they can control things from the top down. This is not an unusual thing. This isn't something that's just started now. This has been going on forever and ever and ever. You always have one group seeking control and the other group fighting to maintain, what they have with their own self-reliance or to gain a self-reliance. It's the same battle. There's not going to be any one thing that happens and goes, oh, the other side goes, okay, fuck it, you won. That's not going to happen. They're going to be, oh, fuck, we took a hit here. How do we get in there and make our moves? And then it's just this long, protracted thing. And the more people on your side with the most assets and the most commitment are the ones that are going to win. So if people are out there wondering, okay, what can they do against these types of things? Well, one, are you committed? Two, do you have assets to bring to bear on this? So we have not just ways, but we have means to affect the change. And the last thing is, are you gathering with other people that feel the same way you do? Or are you just bitching on social media and forwarding off a meme every now and then, which is great. Keep doing that. But you might have to do something a little bit more at some point. And all these politicians, they're still worried about one thing. They're still worried about political risk. And the way you create political risk is by driving social capital.
I think the other thing they like to do is separate the people greatly. They always push, racial problems, religious problems, something like that to divide the people more because they're worried about us unifying and everybody finally seeing the bullshit that they keep putting out.
Well, if they don't create a problem, then we don't need them for a solution, right?
That's
Yeah,
right.
that's true. Carl, I've been asking all the questions. Do you have any you've been wanting to ask?
Yeah. The pledge you was talking about. When did that all start?
The Spartan Pledge started about it was about 10 years ago now. Yeah, it was about 10 years ago now. And it started between me and a brother that I was deployed with. And through a unfortunate circumstance, we were both talking about suicide. And we had seen each other for a couple of years. We hadn't, we had already rotated back and kind of got on with life, and we never talked about suicide. And then the topic came up, and we both realized that we were each having suicidal thoughts every day. And I felt like such a douchebag because here I was I was his team sergeant. I knew everything about the guy, and I don't know now that he's suicidal. That's fucked up. What's wrong with me? And so I reached out to other guys on the team too, and it was the same thing. One guy was like, "Bro, I ain't left the house in 2 years." And I was like, "Oh my God, what the fuck is going on?" That was when I got off all the dope. When I got off all the dope and I started looking around, what I realized was fucking true aftermath. And it just had to be dealt with.
That is awesome that you did that and stuff. And now you go on tours around to promote this, correct?
We do. We go on tours. We have an organization called SpartanSword.org. And one of the things I really like about the organization is we don't accept donations after we cap off our donations at $50,000. That way, there's never any chance that somebody's going out for big meals and doing all the crazy stuff. We just want enough money to be able to travel the country and be able to promote these events and get in front of people to do Spartan Pledge ceremonies. And now we've broken off again. That now there's a first responder Spartan Axe. That's beautiful. It's amazing. Ben Hayhurst, another Solder City warfighter that I know, he made that. He's done a fantastic job. And so now we're going around to police agencies and first responders because they're having a horrible time with suicide right now. With all this defund the police and all this nonsense that's going on, it's truly affected a lot of identity. It's put a lot of pressure on the family, put a lot of pressure on departments, and that has been. It's showing itself as a symptom of suicide. So we're trying to get out there. We're going to be in New York, I think next month, to do an event with the Spartan Axe and get that information out. But we're really hoping to get out and do, the warfighter community. We've done a good job of taking care of each other, and I don't think we give each other enough credit for that. I mean, the fact that there's a 22 organization everywhere you look tells you that people were jumping in trying to help, and whether they do it right or they do it wrong, they got involved, and you got to give them credit. That doesn't happen. You don't see other groups of people. You don't see football players mobilizing in a certain way, doctors mobilizing. You don't see that. And right now there's such a kinship between our military and our first responders that now we've done something, we've accomplished something that now maybe we need to reach back and go help them out a little bit, do what we can.
I agree because you hit it right on the head. This defund the police and how they've gone after all these first responders. They're demonizing everybody at this point in time. And if you look at it, the crime statistics on cities that have defunded the police, the same day they've defunded it, their crimes have just skyrocketed. So it should show you that we do need police officers and we do need to take care of everybody that is trying to help the community.
Well, it's a lot of it's rhetoric. I mean, most places. I mean, you're not going to defund the police, but somebody's got to be able to throw that idea out there. We say they're going to say, okay, defund the police. We want to go this far with it, and then people are going to go, no, we're not going to do it at all. Well, if they meet half their goal just by screaming defund the police, well, then they've gotten further faster, and nobody else has accomplished anything. And I'm not saying there doesn't need to be some reform in law enforcement. I think there are some agencies around the country that probably absolutely does have to happen. But to say that the the organization of law enforcement, to say law enforcement officers are a certain way, and to demonize that, I think is exactly polar opposite of most first responders and police officers I've ever met, which are noble human beings who have great families and work very hard and really care. And they put up with a lot of shit every fucking day, because usually people can't deal with their own bullshit, and they're out there and they're doing it. So, you know, you got to give credit where credit's due, and that's where the credit's due. So we should give that credit. I think that the defund the police thing, I think whenever you see that, whoever is pushing it, you have to question whether or not they have other political motivations, mainly Marxist, because that's where that messaging comes from. Whoever's putting that out there, when they're screaming that, they're really trying to promote the Marxist agenda, not the American agenda.
Oh, very much so.
Absolutely.
I mean, look at all these people from cancel culture right now that are just trying to ban everybody out there that opposes them. We can't have free speech at this point in time. If you say something that the other side doesn't like, they're going to come in and talk. I mean, we've had several people come into this chat room and just scream, take away their guns. We've been called grandpa, old senile retards, and we try and bring them on here. Like, okay, come on to the show, give us your side, try and educate us as to why guns aren't important. But the problem that me and Carl here have seen is none of them want to have a conversation.
Oh no,
and
they
have
won't
an
come
actual
on
discussion
here.
as to why guns are or are not needed, or why cancel culture is such a problem. Why, you know, look at, they've tried to cancel the NRA. They canceled out, Disney canceled out that chick from Star Wars because she went against their political beliefs. You know, it's happening more and more people are afraid to state their opinion because, oh, if I say this, I'm going to piss off a bunch of people and they're going to get me banned.
Yeah, and that's true. That is happening. But see, we recognize it. And what's amazing is that, you know, I do a lot of shows and I talk to a lot of people. So many of us think that we're the only people feeling this way, and we're not. It is also my belief that we are the majority, not the minority. But I got to give a lot of credit to your show, getting this information out, having these conversations, and giving me the opportunity to say, hey guys, you are not alone. You are absolutely not alone. When I do other shows, when I talk to other people, when I travel the country, everybody is saying the same thing you are right here, right now. But other entities would have you believe that you are the minority. You're not. You're the majority. But because everything has been broken up, and because of those, you know, people being banned and shouted down and all this other stuff, we feel like we're not the majority. But in fact, we absolutely 100% are, and we need to act accordingly.
I can agree with that. I think the problem we have is we're afraid of that ban. We're patient, we're quiet, we're calm, collected. We've been trained to be resilient to everything, and we're sitting here and just taking this beating because we can, whereas the other side wants to whine and complain and scream. The best way I can put this is those with the larger brain, the more intelligence, are usually those that are more quiet and calm and collected, whereas those that lack that intelligence have the larger mouth.
They do. I mean, it's always been that way. It's not, again, the stuff we're dealing with, and this is another big problem with the internet. You know, in the old days, and when I say old days, I mean pre-internet days, you know, I'm old enough to have been an adult prior to the internet existing. So there was a way things were done. And the number one thing is you had to be likable if you wanted to learn information. You had to be fucking likable, because you couldn't just go and Google some shit and be the biggest asshole in the world, and brilliant people would give you some kind of answer. In the past, if you wanted to learn how to replace a transmission in your 62 fucking Ford and you didn't know how to do it, and the Chilton's manual is a little bit confusing, you had to find a dude, okay? You had to be like, excuse me, sir, I see you work on cars. Is there any way maybe you could help me with my transmission, and I could pay you, and I just want to learn how to do it. And you had to make that relationship. You had to be likable to get information, and that made society different. Now in our days, in our society, you can get any information you want, and you could be a total fucking asshole, and there's absolutely no governance on where that information goes. Before, you at least had some wise person going, I think you're an asshole. Maybe I don't want to tell you.
Yeah.
You know,
well, not only that, if you were an asshole when you showed up to ask somebody questions, you would get knocked out. You know, we've got all these keyboard warriors nowadays that don't understand there are consequences to everything you say and do. And I mean, we're raising children soft way. My dad used to tan my hide, but now we've got kids that you can't spank them, you can't do certain things because it's frowned upon. We're not teaching everybody there's consequences, and you can get behind a computer just like this all day long and go and bash somebody. Whereas if you did that in the past, odds are you were going to get your teeth kicked in.
There was a social consequence, and they have social consequences now, but it's it's mob rule. Rules of social conformity apply on social media. So we've got an entire culture, and it's not. I'm not saying them. I'm saying us. Us as people need to recognize this because we're going to have to come to terms with it at some point. In the past, in order to get information, you had to find someone with wisdom. And that person with wisdom would give you information under the context of wisdom. Now people are getting all the information they ever fucking wanted with no wisdom whatsoever. And so everything looks fucking crazy because it is. If you have information without wisdom, you're going to see insanity.
Very much so. I mean, look at engineers nowadays. Anytime I've had to work on a piece of equipment, some of the most simple designs that should have been done, you've got a bolt you've got to break your arm to get to because they didn't have the education of, hey, maybe I need to put this in a more safe area so this guy can operate this piece of equipment instead of making him break his arm. They don't have that's the difference between education and wisdom. Wisdom, they have seen everything. They have learned it by sweat, blood, and tears. Whereas education, they go and read about it and call it, okay, I can make this work by doing this. And it fails because they didn't know everything about that. That's why college degrees are beneficial for certain jobs, but like trade jobs, I'm going to go ask the foreman that's got 20 years of experience versus going and asking the guy that just got out of college 2 years ago.
See, everything used to be that way. Everything. If you wanted to learn something, if you wanted to go to college, you had to get into college, and there was a prerequisite for that.
Right.
If you wanted to, again, if you grew up on the poor side of town, you needed to know how to do something. You had to fucking find a friend and be a good friend to a friend who knew a friend that could make an introduction so you could figure out how to get something done. People learned how to fucking act right under those conditions. Nowadays, everybody thinks they're smart as fuck and they have no goddamn wisdom. They are very, very smart, emotional infants.
Well, look at all this so-called virtual school learning they've had to do over this last year. They have dumbed down our kids so bad over the last year. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm all for virtual school learning in a lot of contexts, but in the situation last year, completely being unprepared. And because here's my thing, and I think I heard it first from Joe Rogan because I got to give him the credit for that. We have the smartest instructors on the planet that can make a video that you can rewind and listen to again. Me, I grew up with I deal with ADHD like a motherfucker. It makes me better in so many ways, but not so great in other ways. But I know when I was growing up, if I could have listened to the smartest motherfucker on the planet say something, I could just rewind it 10 seconds here one more time and go back and forward and I think I could have learned a lot more, and I think I could have been a lot more educated. It would have been, that's a very proactive thing, and I think we should be making our kids educated with the absolute best instructors. And the other thing is, why do we fucking need schools? If there's all these school shootings and that's such a bad place, okay, fuck it, get rid of schools, everybody go home. And I think up to a point, I think maybe you get to 6th grade and everybody learns stuff, and then from 7th grade, they give you a laptop and a gym membership and tell you where you got to be to go to the gym every day. And you learn that stuff. And of course, incorporating the social things that people need. But I think as far as making people more educated and quote unquote safer from violence, fuck the schools. There's a better way to do that. I don't have all the answers, but I definitely think we're on the right track if we stop trying to make factory workers out of everybody, which was the model for the schools that we have now, is making factory workers. So I don't think that's the game plan anymore. But I think at some point in time, and that, again, I say we, I don't say them, we need to figure out how we are going to influence our future and our people now. So first, they understand the problem is, hey, listen, you might have information, but you don't have wisdom. And you don't even have the wisdom to know you don't have wisdom. So how do we make that a reality and start infusing that wisdom? How do we have that? I mean, now, look, even you have this fucking hashtag boomer. The most disrespectful fucking thing on the goddamn planet. Where in the past it would be, oh, I respect people older than me so I can learn from them. Now we're just using them as a joke and a hashtag. Okay,
Yep.
These are people that have the wisdom, and we're making them inconsequential to our society. This is foolish. This is very foolish.
Greatly. When you stop respecting I'll respect my elders to a point. I'll respect you as long as you respect me. It's a double-edged sword. But I'm, having a bunch of kids. I'm not that old, but I've got kids coming up, boomer. Like, I'm not going to train you if you're going to make fun of me. I've got plenty of experience. I've worked 8 different jobs in my life already, and I'm not even 30 years old yet.
Yeah,
And
you're a
you want me-
millennial. You're not a boomer. You're a millennial.
Right, but I've got these kids coming up to me and going, boomer, and I'm like, I'm not that old. You
Take it as a compliment. Take it as a compliment.
But I think I do agree. Getting rid of schools would be one huge benefit because it's going to cut back on the violence. It's going to help with bullying problems. But the bigger issue we have is we need to remove the biases of teachers being able to teach their political sides. You don't.
We can control the indoctrination if you get rid of the schools.
Right.
And I think, and let's be honest about that too. I mean, if you don't think the university system does a lot of indoctrination, I don't know where you've been, but that's what's going on. I mean, the Department of Justice is literally prosecuting Chinese operatives that are invading or that are controlling college education. It's part of the DOJ is nabbing spies that are working in colleges to create CHICOM, Chinese Communist Party. Here in the United States. It's not some crazy shit I'm fucking dreaming up right now. I'm telling you, go look at the DOJ, go look at the people that have been arrested that are working in colleges for advancing the Chinese Communist Party.
Well, not only just colleges. I mean, look at some of these middle schools, high schools, and elementary schools.
And they all came from a college. They all came from the college. Here's how the feeder system works. These people go into college. Okay. And while they're in college, let's say I work for a particular media company and I want to hire some people. I'm going to call my professor that used to be at my college and go, hey, you got any guys there that might want to work at my particular media place? And he's going to go, you know what? Mary, Joanne, and Bobby will be perfect for you. Now they get pushed forward into the stratosphere on jobs, or maybe it goes the other way. Hey, we need to have this many teachers. Okay, Professor so-and-so starts hooking up people with certain jobs in the education field. So again, I agree with what you're saying with secondary and middle schools also being indoctrination, but how are people getting those jobs? They're getting those jobs because people are getting the hookup from the university systems, and they're making sure that there is some sort of firewall on who can get those types of jobs and who cannot.
Right.
And that would explain why they're banning the American flag in so many schools and allowing these Black Lives Matter flags and rainbow LGBTQ community flags going up. But if a student wears an American flag T-shirt, he's going home for the day and he's suspended, which makes no. We have lost so much pride in our country in the past few years that it's hard for a lot of people to want to be an American at this point in time because they see that, we have China over in Hong Kong. They're waving the American flag as a sign of freedom and hope. But we have people in America right now burning the flag, banning the flag, tearing it up, spitting on it, pissing on it.
You gave two good explanations, two good examples, and I'll tell you what exists in both of them: covert influence and covert action. Exists in both those situations. We are constantly working in other countries to delegitimize the government, to make sure that there's a populace that can stand up against them, to create change and force change. Other people are doing it to us. This is the game. It's gone on forever. It's going to continue to go on. And now we have a cyber aspect to it, a digital aspect to it. Digital deception is huge. All these things are happening. And when we're looking at each other right now on this screen, we're like, hey, there's all this stuff happening. Yeah. And it's not by accident. It is absolutely not by accident. These things have been going on for a long time. There are agents of change that work in different countries on behalf of other countries. And for anybody to think that type of scenario is not happening in the United States, it really is, again, a lack of wisdom.
Oh, I agree. And I did a social media experiment on my friends on my Facebook page about 2 years ago without telling anybody. But but it showed me the people jumped to conclusions exceedingly fast. It was this article where they listed a group of people was digging up soldiers and desecrating the grave. But if you read the article, it was actually they were digging up the soldiers to give them a proper burial, because this was just a mass grave at the point in time. These were Civil War soldiers, and they were taking it as these are current soldiers that have died recently. And it's like, no, I put this out here because I wanted you to read the article, see what I'm trying to say. But too many people, and this is on both
Nobody
sides.
reads the art. Nobody reads the
No,
articles.
they see that headline, and it's that's what they want it to be.
The headline is the meme.
Yeah.
A headline is a meme. People see the headline, they want to kick it out. They don't read the article. It's one of the biggest bitching points I have all the time on social media. When I'm going to read the whole article, I tell people that. But it is a thing, and I've done the same thing you do. Put up something, watch people get all pissed off, and then show up a day later and go, "Hey, asshole, look at the article. This is what it really said. Why don't you pay attention?" That's I think that needs to be done. I think we should keep each other in check. I'm glad you're talking about it, because I've been guilty of it too. I've been guilty of it more recently than I'd like to admit, where I get that emotional charge when I see something. I see the article, I see the headline, I'm like, "Oh, motherfuckers," and then I get all fired up about it, and then I later find out, well, maybe it wasn't what I thought it was. And both sides are doing this. We're talking about covert action, covert influence, but from country to country happening. Everybody's in the covert game now, okay? Everybody, trust me. Big tech is in the covert game. The corporations are in the covert game. Advertisings, politicians, everybody is running covert on everybody else.
I've proved Google's biased as hell twice. They've been dealing with a lawsuit for a while, but I mean, Hillary Clinton was supposed to go to trial in last September. That got swept under the rug. Trying to find any positive gun stories through Google, not going to happen. The only thing you're going to find is something that's going to make it look like guns are a problem. And I mean, this is when I was doing an old show where we went into, they purposefully blacklist certain websites because they don't agree with what message they're putting out there. And David Gagne from Minuteman Ordnance, his website that they had up, they're a FFL licensed company. The website provider that they had paid for shut them down without warning because they didn't like them selling guns.
Of course. And one of the other things I want to encourage, I mean, you have a show, you have a platform, and I don't think you would disagree. I tell people all the time, stop using Google. You should be using DuckDuckGo. Exactly. DuckDuckGo is not going to be driving specific information to your zip code that is part of a campaign. You're going to get your own stuff. So I tell people all the time when they tell me hey, I was upset about something. I researched it, and this is what I found. First thing I ask is, where did you do your research? If they say DuckDuckGo, if they say Google, I say, do me a favor, go do the same research, except look at DuckDuckGo. I don't say anything but that. If they want to have a conversation with me, they have to go do that. And every time they come back to me and go, well, I didn't find this, but I did find this. Their whole mind goes, okay, now I'm a believer of something I didn't know existed.
Exactly. Right. Because I got in an argument on when we were with one of our previous networks where we were talking about the crime statistics for gun-free zones and how high they were and what percentage of crimes they made up. You know, I found numbers between 95 and 98%, but I was going through DuckDuckGo, I was going through Google, Bing. I was going through every web provider I could utilize to find my information. And the gentleman I was having an argument with went through one dedicated network through Google I'd actually found information on that they were exceedingly biased on DuckDuckGo.
Yeah, even when I was a kid, long time ago, we did book reports. Or we did a report on a topic, we had to list what our sources were. And if we used like the local library, the teacher was like, what other libraries did you go to? And that was a very basic thing back in the day. And now these internet search engines, they're like libraries. And if you're going to go search on Google, you need to go search on Bing and DuckDuckGo too. And if you don't want to worry about anything that's specifically targeted to your area, stick to DuckDuckGo.
Yeah. Very much so. Otherwise, you're going to get some crap you don't want to read, and it's going to irritate you, and you're not going to find the information you're actually looking for.
Well,
on many different accounts.
You're getting targeted crap.
Yeah, all the time. And if you don't believe that, I guarantee go Google something political, on Google and DuckDuckGo and tell me what you find.
Oh yeah, the two
And it's going to
different
be
things.
it's insane how
These are the games people play, and we're part of that game.
unfortunately. Carl, did you have any more questions? I kind of jumped
No,
back in on you.
no, not really. You know more about Boone than I do because you guys were in the certain war. I was way back years ago when there wasn't a war here. So, but one question I do have: you're doing these tours and everything. How many, we'll say, Vietnam veterans have you ran across with
Quite
the
a
smart?
Quite a few.
Really?
On a constant basis, yes. And they all pretty much have the same sentiment, which is thank you, and I wish we would have had this.
Yeah. Yeah, because
It
they
makes-
didn't have nothing back in their time frame. I grew up watching them coming home and being spit on and yelled at and everything. It was horrible.
Absolutely.
He comes from the generation that had a toy company making their M16s.
Yeah, my first M16 said Mattel. And that was after Vietnam. That makes you feel real good on the firing range, let me tell you.
Oh, I always love him telling that story.
I know, but it's true. Hey, a lot of people in the show here are young people that didn't know Mattel made an M16.
They didn't know a Singer sewing machine was making 1911s.
Yeah, exactly.
True
I
story.
mean, they every time they hear an AR, and everything, they're thinking military. They're thinking all this and that. And it's like, no, you go back in my time, M16 was an AR, but is an M16 as we called it, and you pulled it up and looked on the side of it. It didn't say Colt. It said Mattel right on it.
And the funny part is he actually has the M1 above him right there. And people think that's a good hunting rifle, but they'd rather ban ARs. I'm sorry, but that rifle right there has taken a lot more lives than any AR ever will.
Exactly. That's a killing machine right there. That has killed more people in the world during wartime than anything.
But because the AR's this black, scary gun, and so easy to get a hold of, they need to ban it. But if you look at the statistics, every time I read numbers, and I hate getting more and more statistics because every time I get them, I have to read into it because how many of these numbers are suicides? How many of these gun crimes are accidental discharges or some kind of malfunction? Because, and we talked about this earlier, the media is just going to give you the numbers to scare you.
Well, the media is going to eat up on them 2 stories I showed you.
Oh,
But
yeah.
they're gonna push handguns being outlawed over
Gentlemen,
the 2-year-old that shot the parents.
Gentlemen, I come from the PSYOP world, and do you know that there is one factor that is within my wheelhouse that most people never see? And as soon as you see it, you'll understand the information you're getting. If you're getting selective information, you're getting PSYOP.
I can understand why it's so hard for me to find all my articles now.
Mhm.
Every time we try and do this show, every time we try and do some kind of education, I've usually during the show, we do some kind of gun fail, gun malfunction, trying to educate people how you handle this scenario and what you need to do. Unfortunately, past few weeks, every time I try and find something, the closest information I can find is from back in 2018, and most of it's what we've already covered. The only article I could find today for a gun fail was a deer was walking into the gun range right up onto the shooter, and the only thing we could do to educate people is make sure you know what's around you when you're firing, because he didn't know the deer was right there. When normally we had the morons in Texas that are now banned at the gun range where they were taking selfies and pointing the gun into their necks, pointing the gun at their buddy. We've covered the gentleman that shot himself in the head with the shotgun. Luckily, he survived. We had the 2 geniuses that were playing skeet shooting, and the thrower was right in front of where the shooter was. So he got shot. Again, thankfully, he survived. but it's becoming more and more hard to find articles from 2020, 2021 to kind of go into an educational video and try and explain what's going on. All of them want to be recoil, getting scope eye, just basic things. Whereas and he's got 2 articles today that he was able to find, thankfully, covering problems with children getting a hold of firearms, which we want to cover a lot because a lot of people that come here ask us questions on how they can handle their firearms with their children around. And unfortunately, a lot of the times we get these articles, they're not a happy ending.
That's true. I understand. Well, people are busy right now. They don't have time to make articles like that. They're busy making other articles.
Yeah. They want to make racism, cover the Black Lives Matters, Antifa, COVID, that joke. I'm so tired of hearing about COVID this, COVID that. There's a microchip. I'm not getting the vaccine. It was made within a year. It's still experimental. It's been backed by Bill Gates, which is a technology guy. So I can't agree with him trying to push his vaccine through, especially when he's got all these stocks into the virus. So I'd rather wait 3 to 4 years, see it perfected, know that there's minimal side effects, and then maybe I'll get the vaccination. But right now, not going to happen.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Trying to think. Well, Carl, you have those articles right now, yes?
Right. I'm going to pull one up on the screen.
Okay. You could have just read it. Go ahead, Carl.
Okay. I'll read it and everything. Let me pull it up on the big one. West Bath, Maine. A West Bath couple was wounded Wednesday morning when their 2-year-old shot them with a handgun. 2 years old. The incident was reported just before 8 a.m. on New Meadows Road. Sadaka County Sheriff Joel Murray said the child picked up the gun that was on the nightstand and shot his mother and father. The mother, 22, suffered a leg wound, and the father, 25, was shot in the head. The boy was struck in the face by the recoil of the weapon. All 3 were transported to the hospital. Injuries are not considered life-threatening. The question of how the boy was able to pick up and fire the weapon of great concern is being investigated.
Yeah, I think so too.
Right.
Let's hope somebody didn't shoot their husband in the head, shoot themselves in the leg, and hit the head and bop a kid in the head and say, "Oh, he did it." That one sounds kind of wacky to me, man. A 2-year-old firearm gets off 2 shots accurately, hits 2 people. Man, I want to follow that one.
Yeah, I'm going to follow that.
At face value, what do we say about that one? Why are you making firearms accessible to people that shouldn't be possessing firearms in your home?
Exactly. And we cover that all the time, utilizing the appropriate gun safes, safety, and then educating your children. Now, at 2 years old, I don't remember anything from when I was 2 years old. I was still eating dog food at that point in time. But my parents were smart enough to know where to put. We had 1 gun in my house at that point in time, and they put it up somewhere high where I couldn't get to it ever. And then when I finally did come of age, we did talk about it a little bit, not as much as they should have, but thankfully nothing happened. So we want more people to understand the risks of having, if you have small children in your home, you need to do something. And we covered, 2 weeks ago, biometric safes for people that want to have their gun locked up but easily accessible in case there is an intruder. There's always some kind of safety. There's always some kind of device out there that you can utilize to mitigate some of the problems you'll run into with children.
I'm waiting for the story to see how long they have owned that gun. If they're one of them that bought it since the election and everything, they know nothing about a handgun, This is why they've got to be taught. This is one of the things we want to start on the Second Amendment Ranch, is to make sure everybody knows everything about their weapon, safety, and everything to deal with it. You don't leave it on a nightstand. When you got kids in the house that, all of us had kids that come in the middle of the night, they're scared to death.
Can I chime in on that, the whole nightstand thing? Because it's
Yeah, go right ahead.
it's kind of a pet peeve of mine. I used to spend a lot of time training people on the range. I was as a civilian, that was my job for a long time, and it used to kind of make me a little nutty when someone was like, when we talk about like, well, I keep my gun next to me. You know, some people still have it under their pillow, and I'm like, what the fuck? You shoot yourself in the head, you know. And other people are, you know, I keep it on the nightstand, this and the other thing. And my whole thing is, okay, what do you? These people really don't have a good idea of what it means to hold someone at gunpoint, to be able to be in a fight, to be able to and possess a firearm. That's not the game. Listen, if you guys want to improve your situation when you're talking about where you keep your firearm at night, go get yourself one of these little bat belts, okay? Just a belt with a holster on it. You've got a light on it. You know if it's going to happen in your house. It's a low light situation anyway. If you're not learning how to work lights, you're deficient, in my opinion, as you can be. Also, what alternate levels of force do you have? Do you have some sort of pepper spray? Do you have some sort of even the light? You know, a good surefire light that stuns the fuck out of people, and you have the advantage. And the other thing that's really cool by keeping your gun in a holster on a belt with all of your tools is if you wake up in the middle of the night, all you got to do is clip it on. Your hands are free. You can work doors. You can walk around. You can look things. If you have to get your gun out, you can. If you have to holster the fucking thing because you don't have a shoot situation, maybe you just got to put somebody down. Okay, well, fine. Then you can holster. You're not fighting over a gun. So when people say, "Well, I keep my gun next to me on a nightstand," I say to myself, in a holster, on a belt, with your spare magazines, your light, and some sort of alternate level of force, right? And then they're like, because straight. I mean, honestly, you don't want to be the guy who draws your gun and realizes, oh, fuck, I don't want to have a gun in my hand right now. I need to do something else. And where the fuck are you going to put your gun? You just created a bad situation for yourself. So put your fucking gun in a goddamn holster when it's next to the bed. Have it so you can just slap it on. You know, you can clip it on, have a low ride holster. I mean, you can look like a ghetto gunfighter in your fucking underwear, but you're fully prepared.
Right. And also,
I love this company. It's We the People holsters. They do phenomenal work. It locks it into place. I can put it in my underwear, and it's not going anywhere.
But back to that, you also got to teach, I don't care what age, if they're walking, crawling, whatever, you got to teach your child. Those are things you don't touch. You know, I grew up, if I went near my grandfather's gun case, if I got within 6 inches of it when I was little bitty, I was going to regret it for the rest of the day. I'll guarantee you that crap.
That's a good point. Yeah, there has to be a conditioned response. You know, if you want that child to respond a certain way, they have to be conditioned to do so. And I think that starts, you know, it's age appropriate, obviously, with whatever age. But, you know, even if you've got things, you know, say sitting on a coffee table in the living room that you don't want your kid to touch. Well, the kid makes a reach where you're going to smack them on the hand, tell them no, and send them off in another direction. But so many times we take firearms and we're like, no, we just need to hide it, and they don't need to know about it. But at some point in time, they will. But they need to have that same conditioned response. Look, this is something you don't touch. It's not for you. It's mine. You don't touch my stuff. This is my stuff, and that's it. You know, if you run across it, stop, don't touch, leave the area, tell an adult. The whole Eddie Eagle thing works very, very well. I think that needs to continue. Stop, don't touch, leave the area, tell an adult. All these things. I think it's good that you're normalizing conversations about firearms with families and their children because it should be normalized.
He's really gonna love this next one. This one just happened. It popped up on my phone today, so it just happened yesterday. Are you ready for this? Okay, let me get over here. Lakeland, Florida. 2 men were arrested Friday after a 3-year-old shot his 2-year-old sister in the chest under their watch. The gun used in the shooting belonged to a 23-year-old man. He faces charges of possession of marijuana for carrying a concealed firearm and for failing to store it safely. Another man present, 23 years old, faces charges on 4 outstanding warrants unrelated to the shooting. Judd, the sheriff, said the men were watching an NBA playoff game around midnight with a third friend when they heard a gunshot. That's when they saw the 2-year-old injured on a couch. The men told the deputies they saw her brother run away screaming and crying to his bedroom. The men raced the girl to a nearby hospital, but they were involved in a car accident along the way.
Oh, man.
The crash caused significant injuries. A good Samaritan at the crash scene volunteered to take the 2-year-old girl and one of the men to the hospital before rescuers arrived. Surgeons at the hospital determined the girl sustained severe damage to her internal organs in the shooting, according to judge. She has already undergone life-saving surgery and is now being transferred intensive care. She remains in critical condition Saturday evening. Now here's where it goes. Judge said the 3-year-old was able to get his hands on the gun after Wilson stuffed it between couch cushions to keep it away from children. I don't know how you think safely keep a gun away from children by sticking it inside a couch children are playing on, Judge said. The men cooperated with the investigation. The 3 men present was the girl's father, but eluded one was 3. The child's mother was not present at the time.
Mm-hmm.
That is bad.
Yeah, I mean, what I see bringing out in that situation is someone was stashing firearms around the house, probably got lazy about it, didn't think about it being there. He was probably in the room. Maybe they had just in the room, stuck the gun, left it there, forgot about it, which happens. I mean, I've seen how many times you seen the guy leave the gun on the back of the toilet, their CCW holder. They take their gun out, put it on the back of the holder, yeah, there you go.
In a public, I think it was at a Waffle House.
Yeah, not all that uncommon, but it's definitely one of those. Oh fuck, what was I thinking? But someone left the gun there. He's probably in the couch, sitting in the couch when he put it there. Walked away, didn't think about it. They're in the other room watching the game. Maybe a day later, 2 days later, the kids are hey kids, you go in the other room and play. Not thinking, kids are curious. They're going to tear shit apart and make forts and all kinds of stuff and dig in stuff. And the 2 places, and it's been proven that children point guns as soon as they get possessed of one, they're pointing at someone else near them, or they're going to point it at their own head. Those are the 2 places they first point a gun. And then, then it's just a matter of pressing the trigger. So they're hanging out watching the games, tell the kids to go play in the other room. Kids are in there playing, and one of them gets shot. And then it's okay. How do we medevac and take that evasive action? This is just a very, very sad case here of not being aware of your surroundings and not thinking things through. So there's a disconnect somewhere. There's a disconnect somewhere for sure, and the child should never have had access to that firearm.
Oh, very much so. I think the worst scenarios I've ever heard about gun misplacement is there was a police officer at a courthouse. He got busted twice for leaving his service weapon on the back of a toilet. He wound up being fired from that. And then the military. I hear all the time in the military, somebody left their M4 or their M16 at the latrine in the barracks, somewhere where it wasn't supposed to be left, but he left it and he got his ass chewed out by his sergeant. So it's not uncommon for people to just put a gun down and go, okay, well, I've got to go do this. And again, my personal experience is I've seen somebody leave their concealed carry in a Waffle House. So it's very common for people to just put a gun down, walk away, and forget about it.
If you're going to be around firearms, you have to have a higher level of awareness. That's all there is to it. They come together. Firearm equals higher level of awareness.
Yeah. You have to have more situational awareness and education about what's going on as soon as you put your hands on any kind of a weapon, whether it be just as simple as a knife or a gun. Because a kid, again, you talked about it, kids like to play with things, and if you give them something sharp and pointy, when I was a kid, don't run with scissors. Now you've got kids playing on a couch with a gun that you forgot about because whatever reason. And again, Chasing Wolf is one of the other gentlemen on our network. He said that's a BS story from the subjects reporting to law enforcement. I can agree. I think something happened different in that story, but they're coming together and trying to lie and cover it up. And he actually has a security company. Dan down there has his own security company. And he says cops and security leave their duty firearms and belts in the restrooms a lot. That's a terrifying thought to me.
Yep.
Our drill instructor friend. A lot of rifles apparently get left in the chow hall. I can see that. And it's not something we want to avoid that at all costs. I know where every single one of my guns is right now.
Oh, yeah.
I know no matter what I do with them, I always have a mental note. Okay, it's here, it's there, it's in the safe. I know where every single one of my guns, I know where all my ammo is too, because I don't want something happening if, say, my roommate brings a friend over. I want to know that, okay, they're coming over, they're in a good safe, they're locked away, they're hidden, something they can't find them, they're in my room where they're not going. I want that reassurance that if somebody comes into my house, I'm not going to have liability if something happens because they were stupid.
Yeah, I know where all my ammo is too, because that shit's expensive.
Oh shit, yeah.
Gentlemen, I hate to cut this short, but I do got to bounce out of here. If there's a final question or anything I can answer, I'd love to take care of that for you.
I think I'm good. It was an honor having you on here.
Yeah,
finally.
real
I'm glad
honor,
you
man.
made it today. Actually, I do have one question. We are going to be going for a world record live stream to kind of bring attention to the network, as well as the 22 a day and the 50,000 homeless veterans. Would you be willing to do another guest appearance during that world record attempt?
When is it?
Looks like it's going to be in September.
Okay, let me know as soon as you can. I haven't checked the schedule, so I can't tell you right now. But if I am available that day, I will be on your show. So let me know
Awesome.
what day it is as soon as possible, so I can lock it down.
Okay, we can do that. But we appreciate you coming on the show, Boone.
Yeah,
I
man.
look forward to seeing you again next time.
Thank you, brother. Thanks for reaching out, man. I'm really glad on social media you just kind of threw it up and see if it would stick. I love it when people do that because it gives it lets me know that I'm communicating at the level that I want to communicate with, which is personal. You know, I'm not one of those guys that sits on top of the hill and whatever. I like to be with people. So I appreciate you reaching out to me and giving me this opportunity. It's definitely my honor.
Thank you very much, Boone.
Thanks, Boone.
Have a good rest of your night.
Thank you, gentlemen. God bless.
Okay.
Yep. Take it easy.
Later.
Bye.
That was awesome.
I've been waiting for this guy for a long time. I can't tell you how excited I am to finally have got him on here. My dad's been hearing about it. I've had friends I've been talking about it. I know I've been talking about it in the network. I'm going to get him. I'm going to get him. I'm going to get him. You know, I have such a problem trying to get no, I did not get my 300 PRC yet. That is a very expensive gun, Bocephus. That is very expensive, about $1,800. And right now I'm currently paying off some other debts that I have accumulated during this COVID. So unless you want to fund me a little bit, you're going to have to wait for a while. But I did find one that I like. But I've been so excited for y'all to meet Boone. He's been one of my idols coming out into the veteran community. He has done so much to bring attention. Yes, Bocephus, I'm talking about paying off my credit card. So unless you want to buy me a 300 PRC, you're going to have to wait.
That's
But
right.
I've been a huge fan of him. I follow him on social media, and I wanted y'all to see the gentleman that I've been following for so long and see what he does for our community and see how he handles everything, what he does, because he does play a huge part in trying to bring that attention to the 22, to the homelessness, to all these problems we in the veteran community have experienced, talking about the Battle Buddy, the Spartan Pledge, all of that, because I think it's very important that more people know about what he does and what we are trying to do.
Yeah, because up until he got on the show, honestly, I've never heard of the Spartan Pledge. And we got people in the chat room. Chris Mine, she's never heard of it, and she got out in 2013 in service. You know, so there's a lot of people out there that may not ever heard about it. That's why I'm so glad he came on the show and talked about it. I looked it up on the internet what it was and copied it and put it in the banner going across the bottom.
And I'm happy, honestly, I'm happy he plugged his book in there.
He could plug anything he wanted in there.
I wanted him to at some point. He has several books out right now for the veteran community. And I didn't even know he had done this most recent one. So I'm glad he actually did get to mention it. Let us know what you think about Boone and how he did, because I'm telling you right now, it was a huge honor for me to be able to reach out. I've been trying to get some bigger names, and he is very human. He is very down to earth. And some of the people that I've tried to reach out to get guests on here, as he mentioned, they are on that high table. They're very hard to get on shows because they think they're too good to come and be a guest. But he was, he's got a massive following. And I didn't think he was going to respond for a long time, but I got his email. He gave me his number. It was such a privilege to get him out here for the time we got him out here.
Right. Bocephus said he was awesome. But Luke wants to know also, Carl, why are you labeled as the Wizard? They call me the Wizard of Odd. And what it stands for, it's a wizard of operating digital devices. That's why I'm the producer of a lot of the radio shows, co-producer, co-host, host, all that, because I operate computers and know a little bit. So that's why I was labeled as the Wizard.
And that's why he's my producer and co-host.
That's right.
Because without him, this show doesn't happen.
We work together. Sometimes you'll see messages pop up because we're both on StreamYard hitting the same button, and it goes up. And we've had that putting guests on the show. Bring them up. Okay. I go to hit it. He's hitting it. So the guest comes up, goes down, comes up, comes down. And, but we get your attention that way and stuff. But, having Boone on here, like I said, I didn't know that much about him and everything, so I started looking stuff up while we was doing the show. That's another reason why they call me the Wizard of Odd, because I open tabs up and start looking for things. Just like those stories. For people on that 2-year-old and 3-year-old in the shooting deal, those stories were just happened this week. That's why I said you watch the news media that's going to jump on handguns this next week over that.
I really liked his takeaway about keeping your firearms on a belt. That's never crossed my mind before. That's never have I thought about that, because usually in my head it's somebody breaks in, shoot first, ask questions later.
Well, you look at how many police officers do that. They take their belt off and roll it up and set it down. It's in the belt already.
So I think that's really good advice. I'm definitely glad he was able to make it today.
Right. And if you do that at home and you got kids, you teach them that belt you don't touch. If you come near it, you're going to hurt real bad.
Oh, yeah.
Real bad. Yeah. I mean, I had my ass whipped so many times because I was always curious, right?
Oh, same.
And
I had a sister.
Papa taught me and everything like that. He taught me about guns. He taught me about shooting, and everything. We grew up with cap guns and all this stuff, playing cowboys, Indians, all that stuff, Army and everything. But we knew the difference between a cap gun and a real gun. Real gun, you didn't pull it out unless an adult was with you.
Yeah. Yeah, 100% agree with that one on that. Now, Bocephus, you were asking about the 300 PRC. I did find one I want. So let me show you that guy real quick. I'm looking at the Savage Arms 300 PRC. It's a precision rifle. It's pricier than the Ruger precision rifles. Don't get me wrong. I love the Ruger precision rifle. I have 2 of them. I have one in 22 LR and one in 338 Lapua. This looks like a lighter model, and I think it would be a lot more fun to shoot. So that's actually what I'm looking at, but it's a $1,400 gun.
I like what Bocephus says there. My guns hang on my wall. I taught my kids they touch my belt. They touch them, my belt would touch them. Exactly right. That's how you have to teach the kids.
They need to have some fear and respect for a firearm. I'm not saying a lot of fear. They need to understand that there are consequences for utilizing a firearm, but they need to have a great respect for what it does. And teaching them at a young age is a very important aspect of that, because if you teach them to respect it, they're more likely to stop, back away, and tell an adult.
Exactly. And that's why now I have to teach my 2-year-old granddaughter and 2-year-old grandson, Luke and Haven, right? They both know where my 30-30 is and everything. They know they don't go in the bedroom. They don't touch it. They see my crossbows hanging on the wall out on the front porch where I keep them to display them and everything. They've asked once or twice about them, and like I tell them, those are like the rifle in the bedroom. Those you do not touch. You do not get near them. The arrows, the bolts are up there and everything with broadheads and practice heads. And I can be your grandson too. Yeah, you probably can. You're probably young enough. Speaking of that, the old man turned 61 Wednesday.
Ah, happy birthday.
Yeah.
Well, I turned 29 last March, so.
God, I got kids and grandkids. I got kids way older than you. I got kids old enough to be your dad. Damn.
But look, I mean, the benefit of us having these networks and having this veteran community, I got to meet you doing this stuff.
Exactly.
You know, you meet so many different interesting people. You know, we met Luke and Larson through doing the shows, and they're over in the UK and Sweden. We've got April from Australia. We've got
you got Julie from
Australia.
April is from Idaho.
Idaho potatoes.
Yeah.
But we don't have a huge reach, but we have a widespread reach.
Yeah.
And
we're worldwide.
We get to have, you know, he's Mr. Boone said he was from Nevada. So that's another state we've got a hold of. So having little bits here and there, yeah, it's going to help us grow and everything, but it's so nice to see all these like-minded people want to come out and watch what we do.
Exactly. And, you know, our show, we've had guests on. Well, actually, we had a guest on that ended up coming on our network. Dan, he was in the chat room and everything, was typing stuff in. And I told Cameron, I said, look at what this man's writing, tapping. Started looking him up on Facebook, asked him if he'd like to be on the show. He said yes. And it went from there.
We still need to have both Cephas come on here.
Yeah, we do. We do. I figure he's got, I think he said 6 more weeks or 16 weeks.
Something. Oh, before he
gets out.
Yeah.
He's going to get out. Once he's out of the military, I'd love to have him on the show. I don't want him coming on and saying something that would get him in trouble with the Army.
That was our buddy from Scotland.
Bo Cephas, you can come on anytime. Tell him how to go to Discord.
Yeah, Bo,
I would love to meet this man.
If you've got some time right now, we can bring you in right now.
His final day is June 16th. So he's got 6 weeks.
So there's that. There is our Discord link. If you go to that link, I can get you the StreamYard link.
Yeah, Bo Cephas, copy that Discord link. Go over there. You'll see us in Discord and stuff. He'll put the link in there. Click on it. You'll come down just like Boone did, and we'll bring you up there. We'd be honored to have one of our servicemen on the show.
Oh, and apparently their angry Canadian will do our Photoshop for us. So all we need to do is get our photos for our logos into the Discord, and their angry Canadian will edit everything for us. That's awesome.
Yeah, that works great.
Yeah, it gives Carl
we'll have to get the angry comedian on here too.
Canadian,
comedian, whatever. But Canadian.
I mean, we could always get Roy Anthony on here.
Yeah, that wouldn't be hard to do.
He's an angry comedian, right?
No, that's Nico.
Yeah, that's our angry Canadian from Florida.
Yeah, but yeah, we get Roy Anthony on here. I always talk to him when he's doing his live show and he puts it out about the Wizard.
He added me as a friend this week. I think he does want to come on our show at some point in time. I don't know. He hadn't reached out to me yet, but he did add me as a friend to his direct Facebook. So
awesome. Roy's cool. I've met him I've met him several times.
He was up Warrior Fest last year. He's a good comedian.
No,
wasn't he?
No, you're thinking Typhoon.
That's right.
No, Roy's a producer, director, comedian, extraordinaire. He's produced short movies and everything. Bo
could've sworn
Cephas
he
is
was
going
in
to
there.
finish eating, then he's going to get on there.
Sounds good to me, man.
Yeah,
We've
we can
been
stay
looking
on as
forward-
long as we need to with him.
Yeah, we've been wanting to bring you on at some point in time. Do y'all have any questions? Y'all have been real quiet in the comments tonight, and I think a lot of y'all were really interested to hear what our guest was saying tonight. It was I can't stress enough how nice it was to finally get him on here. It
Man.
was so. I was worried he was kind of blowing me off. I was worried, I'm not going to get him, stuff like this. But finally, bringing him into the network, I thought was just
And we do get a few guests
huge.
that blow us off because we're a little bitty network trying to grow out and get the word out and stuff. But it's nice to have people like that will look at the little networks to get the voice out because we have such a great audience in our chat room each and every week.
What, Crystal? Why you got the one gun out? What do you mean? Talking about my arms? Are you talking about this guy? You talking about this guy? What? I've got another one behind my door over there.
He's got them within arm's reach. We'll put it that way.
I've got 3 in my room right now. The rest are in a safe.
You're safe in the basement.
Safe. My arm.
Your arm.
It's
That's
the green screen. Actually, I have green ink, and it does.
Oh, you got a hole in your arm.
Yeah, it does like to utilize anything that's green.
Yeah, that's probably what camouflage rattlesnake skin or something.
Yeah, it's snakeskin.
Yeah.
These are actually going to be my new work shirts.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're a rash guard, and I've got to start training for dive and lifeguard position. So this week I'm going to be trying to lose some weight and doing some swimming and laps in the pool.
So how's your back been handling?
Oh, it's been so much better. It's been sitting upright for 12 hours was killing me. This job, I get to move a lot. I'm more active. I can actually see some definition coming back into my arms. I'm moving a lot more. I don't think I've lost a lot of weight, but I think I'm kind of putting some muscle back on. I did have a lot of degeneration from being laid out for 2.5, 3 years, and then working at a company where I sat for a year. My body isn't used to doing what it is now. Back when I was ironworking, I was throwing hundreds of pounds of steel around daily like it was nothing. Got injured, and now I can't do what I used to do. But I'm finally starting to have a more active lifestyle. I'm going fishing more often. My job keeps me busy. I'm going to be starting swimming again. So I'm hoping here in the next couple weeks I'm going to be able to drop a lot of weight rather quickly because my body's not used to being so active. It's kind of getting that shock factor again of exercise. When you hit that plateau, when you're powerlifting or anything, you kind of have to take a step back, slow down, kind of let your body accumulate to what you're doing, and then shock the shit out of it and start going hard again. And I think that's where I'm kind of at. So it's wanting to compensate for having been laid up. Now it's trying to burn the calories. It's trying to put the muscle back where it's supposed to be. It's trying to utilize the fat that I've had because I only like eating the 1 meal a day. I know it's terrible. It can be terrible. Now, there are a couple dietitians that do use 1 meal a day kind of diets, but they have a very active, they inhale like 12,000 calories and they're exceedingly active. I mean, they work out for 12 hours a day. And we were saying about your Scottish friend that we're not going to be able to have him on because we're worried about the military being upset with what he says until he EOSs.
Right. And he's got about 6 months.
Yeah, he's got a while before we get the Scottish guy.
Bo Cephas is getting on Discord, so.
Yeah, and again, if y'all have any questions outside of October 13th, that's not bad.
Oh, that'll be a good day.
Yeah, it will. If y'all have any questions, if you're trying to get a hold of us, Discord is really easy. We're not sponsored by them. I just really like Discord a lot. It's very easy to reach out. We have people post comments, memes, questions all the times. It's got a very basic layout. And Luke and Larson are down there to help you as well with any kind of oddball questions you have about foreign firearms or ammunition, tanks. Our Discord is very open, and we do invite everybody that watches the show to come in.
Right.
I post the link every week, once or twice a week, depending on how we have to set the show up. We post it for Bocephus there. If y'all want it again at the end, we can post the Discord again. Still haven't found 45. Have you reached out to David Gagne from Minuteman Ordnance? Before you say you haven't found any ammo, I'm going to tell you to go reach out to my guy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna shout out. He was our guest on here, I think, twice now. And they're one of the small businesses I like to support. They're actually who I got my scar from.
I know the big new pawn shop down in Cameron, right down from us, about 20 miles away. Just posted on their site, come in and get your 9mm. They have 1 million rounds that they have purchased.
Now, I do want to remind y'all, be very, very careful. There is a huge scam market going on right now for ammunition. I've been added by several people who are like, hey, man, I got ammo, I got guns, what you want? And you go look through their profile, and that's literally it for like a week of posting. If you go and look and they say their birth date's 1986 and they only have 5 or 6 photos, it's a good indicator. It's a scam right there. If they're giving you oddball deals, biggest deal I got, hey, we've got 500 rounds of 338 Lapua for $140. I'm sorry, but a box of 20 rounds of 338 Lapua right now is $110 alone. That's 20 rounds for $110. You're going to tell me 500 rounds are a tenth of the price? My heart drops like, hell yeah, I want to do this, but my brain's like, that's a bad idea. Don't do it. Don't do it. It's just like when we talk about these fake suppressor sites out there, guys. You've got to be careful. If it's a fuel filter, don't be stupid. Don't do it.
Or you buy the ammo and you don't know who loaded it. It could be in a Remington box, but it may not be Remington ammunition. And then you can run into old ammunition like Kentucky Ballistics. Run into the old ammo that he used in his 50. 3 rounds.
I'd like to get him on here, but I think he's too big named and he's not going to acknowledge our existence.
I'll send him a message.
But yeah, he's got a very valid point. I highly recommend going to a small veteran company.
Reliable.
That's why every time I want to do a shout out, I do it for 2 guys. If you want a good quality AR that you want custom built, I tell you, go to Mortimer Guns. That's the guy he's built several of my ARs for me. He built the AR pistol I've showed y'all multiple times on the show. For pre-built guns, ammunition, name brands, I'm going to send you to David. Those are the 2 companies I know, I love. And David's 4 hours away. That should tell you something. If I'm willing to drive 4 hours to go and meet up with somebody, they got to be a good damn person.
Yeah, you drove 4 hours to go buy a rifle.
It's dead, and I love it. Although it's got a little bit of damage to it, but it was a pre-owned firearm, but it's so hard to get right now. I could probably sell that thing for $10,000.
Damn.
It's hard to get guns right now.
And for everybody listening and tuning in again, the Second Amendment Ranch, Cameron over here knows all about the guns, right? I know about older weapons, lever actions and bolt actions and stuff like that. But my main deal is crossbows now. Yeah. Is what I deal in.
They're asking me what's happening with the bike.
Go ahead, Bocephus.
I'm not going to get the bike until I can get my credit card paid off. At least it's going to be at least 2 years. If we can get sponsored, if we can get donations or something like that to help towards that, that's one thing. But I spent a lot of money on guns this year, and that was my own fault.
Hey, you're single, and they're your toys.
Yeah, but, I went a little far into it, so now I've got to deal with the aftermath, and I'm dealing with it slowly, but I do want to get a motorcycle at some point in time, but it's not going to happen for the foreseeable future. So, unless I get a sugar mama, and women don't really pay for sugar. So guys are horny bastards. I'll tell you that right now. Guys will pay all day long. Women will not.
Well, they're gonna like you now. You got all clean shaven.
Don't remind me.
I know. Oh, waiting for Bo Cephas to get on there. Tell them about our contest.
Yes. If you can get 10 friends in here that say you sent them, you can win a Second Amendment Ranch t-shirt. We've only had one person win so far. So if you can share out and get 10 friends to come in and say, hey, Bo Cephas, Crystal, Luke, Larson, whoever sent you, you can win a t-shirt. And we pay for everything. We'll pay for shipping and handling, everything. You don't have to spend a dime on it.
And you can have your choice between Second Amendment Ranch shirt or Born Hub. And
There
look
he
at
is.
what we got. You bringing him up?
Yeah, I got him. There he is. There's that
There's
ugly
Mr.
bastard.
Bo Cephas.
How's it going, guys?
Going
Good to
great.
have you on here.
How you doing?
Not too bad. Just enjoying my second job.
Oh, I'm surprised as a drill instructor you're able to have this.
Yeah.
Hey, but my last 2 weeks that I've been on, they haven't said I had to do anything, so no one said nothing about it. So I'm growing it out till I leave, and I'm gonna
That's
keep growing it.
That's exactly what I did. The funny part is nowadays, if you claim Norse paganism as your religion, they can't make you shave because it's for religious purposes.
Yeah.
There's
Maybe
a lot of guys.
that.
There's a lot of guys right now doing that so they can just grow the beard out. Now it does have to stay within certain regulations, clean cut. But I've seen some guys with some pretty beefy beards in the military now.
Yeah.
We've got a couple of them. We've got a DI that's actually got a full Viking. He wears the beads and everything in his, braided and stuff.
So how long have you been a DI?
I've been a DI for almost 4 years now. It'll be 4 years, June 16th. Before then, I was an EO 311. I was a grunt. I wanted to fight. That was my thing. I wanted to
I
fight.
mean, you look like a fighter.
Oh yeah. A big boy. But back when I was in the service, a DI could only do it for 2 years.
Now you can do it up to 6 years.
Really?
Yes, sir.
I figured they'd burn out
Oh,
before
drop
that.
the sir shit. We
Hey,
we were both enlisted.
I'm
We worked
polite.
for livings.
I'm polite and I respect what his service has done.
I agree. We'll respect you, but sir is not needed here.
I know. I'm just a polite person.
Yeah, I try to be nice. Keyword try.
As a drill instructor, that's hard to believe.
Yeah, really. That's why I said keyword try.
I'm
And
a
like
drill
you said-
instructor. You're nice.
Yeah. Like you said
Bullshit.
earlier, when you get out and have to adapt to civilian life, you're used to ordering privates around, and I mean ordering bad. So how are you planning on adapting?
I have no clue. I mean, I shark attacked this couple the other day, not even meaning to. It just naturally happened because they wanted to act stupid in a line and everything, and it just happened.
Oh yeah,
I'll
I
agree,
bet you're
sir,
getting the stupid ones nowadays too.
I'll agree you need to deal with stupid people to an extent, but it's not your job. You have to get out of that mindset. You know, right now I'm a supervisor in training and I've got this guy I'm having some problems with, and I'm still in that military mindset of handling people under me, because if you screwed up in the Navy or if at ironworking, it was somebody's life. I had to step back and go, okay, he's doing good for a civilian. He's got minimal experience. I gave him some, but you've got to get not necessarily out of the mindset entirely. You've got to, as Boone said, you've got to adapt again. You've always got a home here on the Second Amendment Ranch with the Bill of Rights Network. So if you do have problems, I promise everybody with this network will help you with whatever bullshit you're dealing with.
My biggest thing is the Karens.
Oh God, you and me both.
I'm just the guy that's not afraid to say it. My wife has to warn me every time we go somewhere to just keep my mouth shut.
Yeah,
we've got our kids with us. You got to keep quiet. You can't do this. You can't do that. Every time we go into HEB, wherever.
Yeah, it's probably a good idea. Lawsuits aren't cheap.
Yeah.
And we know they like to sue, but The best advice I can give you beyond what Boone said is find a good hobby to keep your hands busy.
Right.
Keep your hands busy, keeps you out of your head.
Right now, I'm trying to get my gunsmithing license, and then after that, once I retire, I'm gonna go off for about a month and just vacation for about a month, and then go start the Game Warden Academy.
Awesome.
That'll keep you busy as
Yeah,
hell.
you're going to be a game warden there in Texas, or are you going back home?
No, I'm staying here in Texas. I've got 358 acres, so I'm not going nowhere.
Damn. Okay, Cameron. Cameron's a little ways from you, but I'm farther away.
Boone had taken all the F-bombs I could utilize for the day, so I got to censor things right now.
And I know there's a deer hunter there somewhere.
Yeah.
Deer, hog, everything. My neighbor just sold their property, and they had high game fencing, and the people that bought it tore down the high game fence. So now I've got access deer. I've got everything out there.
What part
Oh.
of Texas are you from or in?
I'm near. I don't know if you ever heard of like Granger or anything like that.
I've heard of it. I don't know.
You know where Round Rock is?
He's going to look it up real quick.
Granger, Texas.
How far from Houston?
About 2.5, 3 hours, depending on who's driving.
2.5 hours. That's not bad at all. You're
Yeah.
above Austin. You're just
Yeah.
a little bit above Austin. Yeah, you're not far at all.
No, because Cameron's out of Houston. HTX, Renegade Radio, Simple Man, and TDC, they're out of the Houston area down there.
Yeah.
Half the
Well, see, I've got
network,
a-
half the network is down in Houston.
Well, if you guys are ever up this way, usually most first Saturdays, I run a militia group that actually I train and stuff like that. It's not really militia, but it's more of I just help guys do tactical training.
You got a hog problem you need help with?
That I do have.
Cameron's wanting to go hog hunting real
I went
bad.
hog hunting. The problem was we didn't see shit but a bunny rabbit. The
Oh,
whole
you'll see
trip.
plenty out here. We've got a natural spring that runs through our property that they just run across them, coyotes. I found out the other day what a 50 cal does to a coyote.
There was a problem.
There
Yeah.
was a problem.
Not anymore. No, we went to about 90 minutes north of us. We went to a buddy's stepdad's house or father-in-law's house, and he said he had a huge hog problem. And getting out to the property, we could see it. Problem was, we set the bait up way too. We thought we were about 100 yards out. When the sun came up, we were like 50 feet out. And we didn't see. We walked around the property where you're driving around. He was like, "Yeah, you're going to see him. You're going to see him." We were there from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. Didn't see a damn thing but a bunny rabbit. So I want to find a real hog problem. Well, yeah, we got a hog problem. You ain't got a problem for shit. I want to go out and be like, "There's a hog. There's a hog. There's a hog. Holy hell, you have a problem."
Oh no, that natural spring, they run up and down it all day long. I can sit on my back porch and watch them.
Oh, so what you're telling me is we can set up the bipods, get a case of beer sitting between us, and relax until they come through.
Pretty much.
I like
And-
that plan a lot
and then
better.
the
I mean, I deer hunt off my back porch.
Oh, man.
Oh, you just made Carl so jealous.
Well, I got to admit, I got 2 blinds set up that are insulated and they're nice. I got to put it that
Well,
way.
you live up in the north where you really need the
Oh
insulation.
yeah, when we go deer hunting, it's colder than crap up here.
We're down here where when we go hunting, we want to be buck naked.
Yeah, you wear shorts and t-shirts and all that.
No, you
but-
still wear pants and long sleeve shirts because ticks are a problem and hogs will screw you up. But
oh yeah,
you sweat.
you shouldn't
so
get that near to a hog. That's what you got a rifle for.
Yeah, true. That's why I have a couple rifles.
I'm going to have to raise some money up and drive down there and go with my crossbow.
That's what I was going to say. This is what I carry when I'm around the property and stuff.
Awesome.
We
M18.
match.
Hey,
Yeah,
F and X.
I got the M18, and that thing will, anytime I'm running up and down the property dealing with cattle or whatever, and I see a hog, I take a few shots.
I don't blame
okay.
you.
I have a big question for both of us. How did you find our network?
Someone was telling me about it on base and stuff. Check it out, and I checked it out, and that's all I went to. And then I
Really?
started listening to you guys, watching y'all for a while, and then I was like, man, these guys are pretty cool.
We try to be, we talk about a little bit of everything and joke around. And, the history between me and Cameron started when he joined, when we was both on another network and producing his show. And then the world record attempt and everything. Me and Cameron have so many hours. Even though there's a big age difference between us, we got the same mindset, the same values. We look at things the same way. So that's what me and Cameron have joined together, especially on the Second Amendment Ranch.
Oh, yeah. And the conversations we've had through the world record and just doing the ranch makes a lot of people really think, because we've talked about everything under the sun, how to treat your children, prison reform, punishments, gun laws, fishing, all sorts. We've covered everything we can.
I need to go over there and share them shows over on ours.
Oh, good Lord. That's probably 80 hours of content alone.
Oh, yeah, it was.
Well, speaking of like guns and everything else, what are you guys thinking about with Texas, how they're dragging their feet with this open carry, pretty much the concealed carry and everything else, open carry, no law, license and stuff?
I know they're dragging their feet like a son of a bitch for a reason. It looks like they're trying to throw in some new laws that is really going to screw us. Instead of being a sanctuary state, we are a protective state, I guess is the best way to put it, because the laws, and you can't find it right now. What we talked about with Boone is how biased Google is. If you try and find it, it looks like Governor Abbott is going to allow local law enforcement to assist federal agents confiscating in firearms as long as the federal agency asks, whereas real sanctuary states will not provide any aid at all. So I know they're dragging their feet for a reason. You can't find out why, because they want to hide everything. I think it should have been as basic as it was. It passed through the Senate and went to the House. It should have been done 2 weeks ago. I should be done
longer than that.
Yeah, I mean, Missouri's really set a high standard.
Yeah, that's why I live in Missouri up here. We're protected all the way around now. And it shocked me that Texas didn't go that way, because everybody knows everybody in Texas got a gun.
The problem I've seen is we have all these people from California moving to Texas because it's a cheaper cost of living.
Mm-hmm.
There's lots of land, there's a lot of freedoms, but they bring their same political bull crap over here, and they're running Texas into the ground. Houston itself, unfortunately, Harris County is exceedingly blue, whereas the surrounding counties are all really red, because everything around Houston is ranch land and farmland. So the major city, look at Dallas, Austin, look at all these huge cities where all these liberals are wanting to move. Those cities are extremely blue, but the surrounding counties are all red. So I know that all these people are coming in, they're bringing that same political bullcrap, and they're affecting a huge portion of the state, populace-wise, by moving here and affecting the votes and swinging certain districts from being Republican to Democrat. And I think that's put a huge damper on getting everything passed. I think Governor Abbott should have pulled his head out of his ass a long time ago and said, you know what? Constitutional carry, sanctuary state, boom, signed. Don't care what y'all say. That should have been almost an executive order in itself, because he knows how Texas really is versus what we're dealing with right now. Because if you look at California and you look at the people that are moving out, and you look at the complete disarray, I mean, you can't drive. California used to be idolized in movies. Now it looks like an apocalyptic war zone, because you have so many homeless people living on the streets. The cost of living is, you can get a 900 square foot apartment, but it's going to cost you $3,000 a month, and you're going to have to get 5 roommates to afford it for a 1-bedroom apartment.
Yeah.
You can't, it's so hard to, I've had people come through and say, I live in Louisiana, but I work in California. I have to fly out every Sunday and come home on Friday. While I'm there, I just get a hotel because it's cheaper than having a house out there or an apartment. So it's cheaper for somebody to work in California and make huge amounts of money and just fly there from another state than it is to actually live in their own state and drive to and from work.
Right. You see why Missouri got most of it all passed is the Department of Conservation backed everything on the gun laws, because the Department of Conservation, the money that comes in every year on deer hunting alone is phenomenal. If we were to be like Texas right now, the money in the Conservation Department would drop down to zero.
Yeah, I can't agree with, Texas used to be this big badass state that everybody respected or feared, and everybody had guns, everybody
Everybody had a
carrying,
pistol on their hip, everybody had a carbine in the saddle, and
everybody had a shotgun rack in the truck.
right.
And, it was this entity in itself. When people would say, don't mess with Texas, Texas is the greatest country in the world. Now it's Texas.
Right.
What the hell's going on, guys? So we're having a lot of problems because of what's going on in our populace with people moving here. And I don't agree with people, if you move out of a blue state to a red state and you bring the same political crap you've been drinking for years and seeing how your state turned into, why would you want to do that to somebody else's state? And that's why I think the problem is, and what Boone was talking about was psyops. I think there's a large portion of people purposefully moving here to swing that vote because Texas is such a large state. And if you look at our the votes we have for the president, the electoral votes, it's, if you run Texas, Washington, New York, and California, those four alone almost guarantee you presidency.
Right.
That's why, and Carl's hit this on the head a couple times. I can't agree with states having such a larger electoral vote than some of these other states. It's not fair.
No.
Because
look at how much California's got in electoral votes out there. They got more say in this country than what we do here in Missouri.
Hell, Los Angeles County alone has a larger populace than 35 states combined or something
like that. It's 33 or 35 states.
Just a huge amount of their population lives in Los Angeles County alone.
Or New York City.
Yeah, New York takes up like 28 states population.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been watching some of this stuff, and I mean, I understand the Electoral College goes off of, population and everything for per state, but my biggest thing is, why is it not equal to another smaller state?
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. It's based off your population, and
every state should have the same.
Every state should have 10 electoral college votes, and the majority rules, majority wins. So you win that state, you've got 10. You win this state, you have 10. You have 10 here, 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 and here.
Exactly.
Not 23 here, and Republicans
32 over there.
Yeah, and then over on this side, we win 2 states and we only got 8 votes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes no sense to me how and Boone really covered it. We are the majority, but we are very quiet about everything because we are patient. We are resilient to whatever's going on. We take the beating because we know we can. And if the fight really does start out, it's going to be guns versus dildos and spatulas.
Right. Luke wanted to know why you didn't warn him about Texas.
Because I'm wanting to make Texas great again. And if that means somebody needs to get their ass kicked, then, well, I think State Representative Dan Crenshaw can do the job.
Well, my biggest thing is, if you look at a lot of the backers for Abbott and a couple of the other ones, they're backed by a lot of blue companies.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
that's what
that's
I
what
think. It's
that's what makes it
hilarious.
hard.
Oh yeah, it's hilarious that Boone said he wished he could own a couple because it's true. Your representatives are owned.
Yeah.
Anybody, if you got magical donations, you don't go into politics to get rich. If you make money in politics, you're corrupt as shit. The fact that the Clintons have made millions of dollars. Look at Obama. He started at like $600,000 and now he's worth like $1.2 billion. He still ran around after his presidency and was advocating and still, I think after your 8 years as president, you're done. You shut the hell up.
Or
Go
for
retire in
whatever.
peace.
Once your presidency is done, that's it. That should be it.
Yeah,
That's
you
right.
don't get to continue campaigning for other people. You're done. I don't remember the Bushes actually campaigning for anybody after their 8 years were up. I can't remember anything about that. But Obama, I mean, he was going to foreign countries and trying to make deals. How is that legal? You're not the president anymore. You haven't been president in 4 years. Why the hell are you going to foreign countries and trying to set up agreements without actual power?
It shouldn't be. I mean, that's the part that gets me is like, how are you going to go over there, like you said, make deals for somebody for a country that you're not even president, nothing. You don't even have a seat in the White House,
right,
or on Congress or nothing else. You have a seat nowhere, and yet you're over there making trade deals or whatever the case may be.
Right.
And you look at all these other representatives, if they're fighting so hard for their seat and pulling up all this blackmail on their counterparts, what makes you think they're going to be a good representative if they're willing to blackmail people, if they're willing to take these bribes, if they're fighting so hard to keep their position? Because we look at Nancy Pelosi alone, that raging alcoholic.
Oh, yeah, look at the money she's made.
And my favorite thing, I saw a meme recently where Chelsea Clinton was running around. I can't believe anybody, I guess one of the Republican representatives was meeting with a female counterpart. And she was saying, I can't agree with anybody in a position of power, a position of power making sexual advances to an underling. I'm sorry, but your dad did what now?
Yeah.
Your dad got kicked out of the office because he was getting a blowjob from one of his underlings. Your family is the last group of people that get to have any kind of morals. The fact that Hillary Clinton alone hasn't been thrown in prison and put on the death sentence because of her emails that's treason. That was blatant treason what she did.
Mm-hmm.
But she's got the money where it just went under the rug. I told y'all earlier, back in September of 2020, 2019, she was supposed to be going to court. But you try and find anything about that now.
No, it's out.
Gone. It's fucking magic. So if you think there's not corruption in this government right now, the fact that we've got 30,000 National Guard troops sitting at the White House guarding it in a parking lot cellar, the inauguration was completely fenced off.
Right.
The fact that you won by 80 million votes, or you had 80 million votes when we were having states turn out 130% turnout votes.
Yeah.
This was the highest turnout in history. You had 130-something thousand spike in hours. I'm seeing more and more articles that are like, well, we found at least 30,000 votes that were fraudulent, brand new paper, same names on them. Computer read them anyways. Like, why are we not blowing this up and making this a huge ordeal? Because we should show that there's bias, that there is these problems. But again, the mainstream media is bought the hell out. Why do you think this show doesn't get the numbers that it really should? Because Facebook doesn't like me. They hate the fact that we tell the truth.
They hate my network.
Yeah.
Well, they hate that. They think that we're conspiracy theorists, but yet when we put the truth out there, we're the assholes of the whole situation.
We are.
I'll tell you, when you get shut down or silenced as a conspiracy theorist, that's when you know that conspiracy was right. We've been getting DOS. We've been getting blacklisted. We've been getting shadow banned left and right, trying to hide our numbers, but still letting us talk to our regular viewers. That's why every time we do this show, if we don't see your comments, go find us on YouTube, Twitch, another platform, because it's not us. We go through all your comments.
Right.
We read them. So we'll pull them up most of the time. We'll try and hit them. But if we don't see them, if you post 30 comments and we don't see any, if we don't respond to one of them, odds are you're not getting your comments through because Facebook doesn't want us answering that question.
Perfect example is Pastor Gary was on Paranormal Nation Radio the other night commenting. He could see it on his side, but it never showed up on our side at all.
And you had somebody write a message about disabled kids disability kids not being able to get good Medicare or something like that.
Yeah.
Now, that is very true. My nephew has Asperger's. I think I said that right. If not, someone's going to correct me. And they are having issues with all because they can't get good Medicare or insurance for stuff like that. They're having to pay way out of pocket just for some of his doctors and
You're
stuff.
right.
I mean, look, talking about Medicare and Medicaid and all that, look at how President Trump was trying to assist people with diabetes and putting a cap on the pay limit. And then Joe Blow comes back around, old gropey, rapey Joe says, executive order, nope, we're going to nullify that.
Well, he's backed by the big pharmaca.
That's
Yeah,
when
because
when insulin went from $50 for a little vial like that to $700 now.
$1,200, $1,400 for some states.
Yeah.
I mean,
A
my
month.
mom's on my
A month.
TRICARE because she can't afford her insulin while she's retired.
Right.
That should show a lot of people off the bat that
And
they don't care about the people. The fact that they're wanting to charge you $700, $800, $900, $1,200 a month for a life-saving medication that you need. You didn't choose to be diabetic. Nobody chooses to be diabetic.
Right.
But
No.
they want to charge you thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars over the course of your life because it's money. That's all they care about. They care about money and power. And if you try and take anything away from them, look at how Biden responded with Texas lifting the mask ban, and now everybody's currently He called us a bunch of Neanderthals. He was bashing us, berating us, dragging our name through the mud. But since we've lifted the mask ban, we have had 0 reported cases of COVID. So
he's getting a lot of calls.
It's work and it's calls that I really don't need to hear from. But let me get off here for a little bit and I might come back on if you guys are still on in the next 10, 20 minutes.
we'll see. We'll see.
We'll see. If not, check Discord next week and you can come back anytime you want, Bocephus.
Hey, no
Take it easy,
problem.
man. Good having you.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for having me on. You guys have a wonderful one and God bless.
Yeah,
Okay.
take it
You
easy,
too,
man.
brother.
But yeah, I mean, that alone should have woken so many people up that they don't care. And now the CDC's turning around like what they did with Ebola. They're starting to lift bans left and right. They're saying, yep, nope, this, yep, pull this. That should have woken a lot of people up alone. Like, oh, they're just magically lifting all these limits and bans because it's safe to go back into public again.
Right.
I've seen people wearing masks with their face printed on it just to get people to chew them out for not wearing a mask. The fact that I think a lot of people don't understand that they would be on the wrong side of history in Nazi Germany. And what I mean by that is there's a lot of people out here right now that think they're doing the right thing. But if they had a bunch of Jewish children in their attic, they'd have been the first group to come around and say, yep, they're right up there. Go get them. Because that's what the government tells them to do.
I'll tell you a good one. Ron, Denise's husband, Ron, works for a company that does the coin machines in Walmart and all these companies, right? He was out in Junction City, Kansas, out by Fort Riley, right? And everything, and was working on one of the machines, and a military guy come walking in the door.
Down.
This associate for Walmart walked over because he wasn't wearing a mask and asked him, "Have you had your vaccine yet?" This guy turned red faced and everything, right? Turned to another girl and says, "I want to see your manager right now." Manager came over, military guy explained to the manager what had just happened. The manager looked at Ron, and Ron goes, "That's exactly what they asked him," and everything. That guy was escorted back to the office and then escorted off the property
Because it's a
because they
violation.
do not have the right to ask you that question.
No, they don't. It's an invasion of privacy. That's personal medical information. And in fact, a lot of states are turning around and saying if somebody asks if you're vaccinated, they have no right to know it. You don't have to prove it. You don't have to show it. You can say, yep, and
That's
go
right.
on about your merry way.
You're not supposed to show them your medical card that says you have had the shot because it's not their information. That's a violation of the HIPAA law.
Yeah. I mean, are you vaccinated? Hey, what's your social security number? What? Yeah. You want to know personal information about me? Let me get your credit card details. What's
Well,
the 3-digit numbers on the back?
They asked me if I was vaccinated, and I'm going to say yes. And they'll say, "You got proof?" And I'm going to say, "Well, go to the military because in 1979, they vaccinated me for a flu shot."
Yeah. You want to see if I'm vaccinated? Go and try and dig up my military record.
That's right. And if
There you
you
go.
dig it up, I will sue you.
I'm going to sue you and beat the bricks off of you.
What's your mother's maiden name?
Exactly. Personal information like that.
Right. They don't
You
need
don't
that.
need that. I don't care. My address has gotten out there multiple times. I don't care if you know my address. You know why? Because if you show up, I've got a couple different rounds that I can put through you. But if you want to start talking personal information like mother's maiden names, credit cards, vaccination records, birth dates, shit like that, you want to piss me off real quick. That's a good way of going about it.
No, they just wanted to
screw with
send
my
you a
family.
Furby.
Don't screw with my family, my personal information, or my friends. It's a good way to get your ass beat.
That's right.
And there's the problem I have with society today is there's not a lot of people willing to do that now.
Mm-mm.
Not a lot of friends. A lot of friends will talk shit about you behind your back. I want the friends that'll talk shit to my face, and then when I get away, hey man, he's a really good dude.
Yeah. You know,
You don't talk
I want
shit
the
about
friends
your
that
friends.
when I say something, I turn around and they got my back standing.
Yeah.
Right
I
there.
want to. We talk shit all the time. I make fun of all my veteran friends in their face, but if you make fun of me behind my back, I don't want you around.
We do it all the time to each other here. We did it down at the big fest where we first met personally, right? It's like, anything happens in here, I got his back because they sure in the hell can't see me.
Exactly. You've got to build those friendships. You've got to build those relationships because I'll tell you right now, folks, there's a lot of fair weather friends out there. They only talk to you when they need something from you. Watch your back.
For everybody listening, June the 8th at 7 p.m. Central Time on a Tuesday night, June the 8th, there will be a special show. Paranormal Nation Radio won't be on that night, but a special show sponsored by the Billerites Network with all our hosts will be on one show in little square boxes on here. So make sure you tune in. All your questions, it's open to the chat room for questions back and forth. And this way you'll get to know all the hosts at one time.
Yeah.
It's going to be awesome. I think that's going to be one of the coolest things we've ever done on this network.
It's going to be hard for me having got Boone on here.
Yeah, I know.
That's going to be hard for me.
You worked your ass off for that one. I got to give you the attaboy. You know, and we've had great guests on this show. But one thing about Boone on there, and one thing about bringing both Cephas, right? That goes to show the Billerites Network, all the shows, Second Amendment Ranch, HTX Renegade Radio, Chase the Wolf, People's Choice, Paranormal Nation Radio, Wake Up Gallatin, all these shows. If you want to come on live, we always tell you, we'll give you the link to come on live because we interact with our chat room.
And y'all have seen it. We brought the liberal pro-gun gentleman on here. We've tried to get the haters to come on here, but as we talked about earlier, if they really hate guns, they don't want to be on our show.
No,
because
they don't.
They can't fight facts, and that's when I get to have my fun and turn around, and y'all see me go on a tangent bashing somebody because they decided to call me grandpa.
And you know how many of those on that side and everything think these are real?
These aren't mine.
Hey,
These aren't mine.
These aren't mine. This is my wall. So I
yeah,
painted my wall.
That's as far as my hand can go.
Yeah, my hand goes right there. It look,
Yeah.
God,
Y'all
that's a
only
little
seen
bitty hand. Look at that shit.
Y'all have only seen a small portion of what I have.
Yeah.
I wish my room looked like this. I really do, but it
It's
doesn't.
about, I'd say it's a fourth of the way there. Maybe half.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, 11,
You could do one wall.
12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I'd say it's about 3/4 of the way there.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Damn.
I'd say it's about 3/4 of the way there. Because we've got what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 on one side. Okay, so yeah, about half. Because
Okay.
there's 11 over here. I don't have a crossbow.
Remind me when you move up here, I'm not to touch that gun safe.
Well, I need to get me a big ass gun safe because mine's getting a little full.
It is.
Yeah.
Oh,
I've only got a 24 gun safe, and it's not meant for
yeah.
all rifles and
I
shotguns.
know a friend of mine's got one like that, and I told him the other day, we looked in there and I went, you got to get a bigger gun safe. They're crowded in there. They need to breathe.
I'm wider than my gun safe is.
Yeah, I know. It takes a forklift to move the damn things.
Loaded down, it's probably 900 pounds.
Well, I know one that weighed 800, and the kids put it in their basement in the bunker room. Well, it was the food storage room that they turned into the gun room because it's all surrounded by concrete and got a steel door on it.
Nice.
Yeah, I was glad when they bought it, the company they bought it from delivered it. I was standing there and they said, where's it going? I said, you're going to pull around down back and you're nice. I'm not going to have you go downstairs. And they went, okay. Pulled in there. And I said, whatever you're doing it with on the dolly, it's concrete floor. Roll it in there. And they've seen where we was like, and they go, oh, this will be a breeze. They put it in there and I was like, yeah, it was a breeze because I didn't have to touch it.
Yeah. I had to move mine by myself, and it's 768 pounds unloaded. And I'll tell you, after I got done, my back was screaming at me.
Oh, I'll
Because
bet.
all they did, it's $500 to put it in the house. So I didn't want to pay for that, so I just had to put it in the garage. But on that note, it's still almost 800 pounds empty.
Right.
So they put it in the garage, left it on the pallet, didn't do anything, just put it right in the middle, like right dead center of the garage. I'm like, oh, shit, I need it over here. Well, this is all you paid us to do, so we're just going to drop it. Have a good day. Crap.
Mm-hmm.
So thankfully, wood pallet slides really well on concrete.
Yeah.
And the pallet was just, I have about a 3-4 inch gap on my garage from the house to the actual garage itself. And that pallet was just high enough for me to shimmy it over and then slide the safe into position.
Mm.
Yeah, after that, I was like, nope, it's good right here. It's not going in the house. I'm done. I'm going to go take a bath.
Right.
Although when I do move up there, I want a big ass bathtub or a jacuzzi. One of those is going to happen.
Yeah.
I don't fit in normal sized tubs. I've got a bigger tub in this house, and the water only comes up to my thigh.
Mm.
I'm so angry. It looks like a deep tub, and then I get it in, and I'm like,
That's what most tubs. I climb in it, my knees are up in my chin.
Yeah.
You know that I hate that. I want to stretch out. That's why.
Yeah, I want to go and soak. Like tubs are meant for women that are 5'3".
Yeah.
Not somebody that is 6'3" and as wide as a gun safe.
Yeah. I know.
So annoying. I saw a brilliant idea though. This gentleman wanted to build their house and put a big tub. They got a horse water trough. Yeah, it worked perfect. They drilled the hole out the bottom, and he was able to completely underwater lay out.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, that's a brilliant ass idea.
I was like, why didn't they think of it sooner? You know, football players go soak in ice during them cattle drop deals, right? They just pour ice in there. And I'm like, bathtub, jacuzzi,
Yeah,
hot tub, whatever I want it to be.
yeah. I want to soak too. I like to spoil myself now and again. Damn it,
We're
can't do
allowed.
that. 6'6". Holy shit, he is a.
I
big boy.
figured he was a big boy.
He is a big son of a bitch. I'm gonna have to make a trip up there and go hog hunting with him and do a live
Oh,
show.
you're going to have to, and you got to film it.
Yeah,
You got to film it.
yeah.
You better have a good DVR camera to take with you. I want footage. And then I want, if you get the hog, I want some of the barbecue.
Of course you do.
Wild hog is awesome.
Yeah, my buddy doesn't want to eat it.
He don't.
No, he doesn't want to eat none. I'm like, why the hell not?
Hey, now. You got to eat the
it's
wild
bacon.
hog.
It's free bacon.
Right. Oh,
Well,
the
I mean,
hams,
depending on
and
what.
pork chops. Oh. I'll tell you what's weird is Brenda, my mom's, when she was alive, they had 2 potbelly pigs
Yeah.
that they raised, and then they turned them loose and turned them wild.
Oh,
Right. Anyway, I got to go put them down and barbecue them. That was some damn good eating.
yep. Hey, Luke, if you're asking about burning wood and you're like burning trash, if you're in city limits, if you're in like a rural subdivision kind of area where the houses are real close, no, you can't burn your trash. You can have a fire pit as long as it's wood and cardboard, but it's not a trash barrel. If you
Right.
live out in like non-restrictive areas, yes, but if you live inside a subdivision, no.
Oh, you got to go see Bo Cephas now.
I cook mine. Oh shit, he does the Hawaiian roast.
He's half Samoan.
That's
That's
why
he's so big.
That's why he's a big bastard. Just wooden letters. Yeah, that's fine, Luke. That's what we do here at my house.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a 6'6". How much do you weigh? And
Who,
why
me?
weren't you in NFL? No,
Yeah.
him.
Yeah, he should have been.
I'm 6'3", 280, and I've been told I should have gone into football. If he's 6'6", anywhere above 300, why the hell did you go into the military? You could have been pro football and making millions right now.
No,
You want to be
you
talking to us.
I could imagine what he looks like in his uniform with his drill sergeant hat on, tilted, right?
That's
Barking orders out.
thought. That's an intimidating thought right there.
Yeah.
Because my
Have you
drill
ever
instructor-
seen a tiny drill sergeant?
Yes.
I haven't.
All 3 of mine were, I think the tallest was 5'10".
Oh,
So
now
all
look
my-
what the other half is.
341, Jesus.
Yeah,
Oh,
but he's
that-
half Icelandic.
He's also part Viking like me. Yeah, we're gonna be good friends.
341.
God,
Oh my God!
that's a big boy.
There's another one I can stand behind, and their shadow will cover me.
Yep.
Oh hell!
Yep.
It's terrible being 6'3" and 170 pounds. Let me tell you.
Because my drill instructors, whenever they would yell at me, would yell at my chest, or have to look up, and I'd be just staring straight over their head.
Mine
So
yelled
it
at
was
my
all like-
chest, and I looked down at them, but they were a hell of a lot wider than I was.
I respected the hell out of mine for their position. I didn't like any of them. I don't think anybody likes their drill instructors.
No.
But it was hilarious because every time they would yell at me, it was just, I'm looking dead over their head. I perfected the 1,000-yard stare in high school. So I can zone out and ignore everything you yell at right here. So they would yell at me, and I'm just, yes, drill instructor.
Oh, he makes them stand on their tippy toes. Oh, he's one of them drill sergeants. Yeah.
They get, and the funny part is you get these short ones and they get that short man syndrome, that short person complex. So they think they have to be bigger and better than you are. And they just yell at you. They PT the dog shit out of you. You stand up, you kind of shake it off real quick, and it just pisses them off more. Like, I'm not trying to agitate you, but because of your complex syndrome you have, it just happens.
Our drill sergeant, the worst thing he would do to us is halfway through the middle of a push-up, stop
Oh, God.
and hold yourself. And I'll be damned if the idiot didn't light a cigarette and sit there and smoke it all and then go, okay.
No,
my arms were going, oh, crap.
Mine like to use quarters. Said, you need to do 10 push-ups. I'm like, I can do that. All right. Halfway down, 3/4 of the way down, halfway up, quarter down, all the way down, halfway up, 3/4 of the way up, 1.
Oh, they think he's a gentle giant, and they're very wrong. Just like Cameron.
I can be a gentle giant.
You are. You're a big teddy bear is what you are, but.
I do have claws. This one will prove me wrong, but I can be an asshole.
Hey, folks, let me tell you. When I first met him, I was his Uber driver. I went over and picked him up, met him. I've got a 98 Subaru. There almost wasn't enough room in that front for both of us. That's why I had the other 2 parties set in the back, because I knew you wasn't going to fit back there.
Hell no. I have a big-ass truck. I drive a truck for a reason. I have gotten in cars.
And speaking of that, I knew you have never told me what kind of truck you got.
I have a 2018 Chevy Silverado 1500 Z71.
Thank you. You picked
Cherry
the right
red.
brand.
Cherry red. I love it. Funny part is, I got a coworker with a blue F-150 and another one with a Dodge Ram in white. So we've got red, white, and blue parked next to each other half the time.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, it's great.
That is cool.
What are you biting at? Are you biting at your fur again?
Bosipa goes, my truck has custom side rails so I can fit.
Yeah, I have side rails
shit.
too. I have side rails on mine, but I don't need to use it. It's lit. It's on 35-inch tires. I just step on up, slide on down. I get snagged half the time in my shorts.
Well, we could tell in the picture when he came on live that he was no small boy.
What do you mean? How much extra tax is that for a truck? It's like a normal car here. A truck is a normal commercial vehicle for people.
Right. They don't charge you extra for your big tires and all that stuff.
No, it's normal. Your insurance is a little higher because it is a larger vehicle, but it depends on what safety features you have and everything.
Right. They don't care they do care what motor you got in there, but they don't care tire size, what you got it painted up as, any of that stuff.
No, we don't have that road tax here, man.
No. We got road tax, but we pay it every time we fuel up.
Yeah. Especially with gas prices going how they're going. And people don't think that the presidency affects gas prices. I'm sorry. Have you looked at history ever?
Have you just looked in the recent year?
Yeah, I mean, gas here in Texas a year ago was $1.83 a gallon.
Right. 89 here.
We are currently sitting at almost $3 a gallon for regular. It's $2.92, I think, for regular gas.
We're $2.84.
Something like that. Yeah,
we're three something per premium.
It's $1 more in just a year, and it's still climbing.
But yet, go buy an electric vehicle and then find a place to charge it because your electric bill just went through the roof.
Oh, you ain't gonna find one in Texas. I haven't seen one ever in Texas. Oh, you're wanting more loving.
No, they're gonna wait until they get the electric semis out there running, and they got to call the people up that's getting low and said, "You're gonna be a little late. There's a line at the charging station today."
Yeah, and they refuel them with a diesel generator.
Yeah.
Oh, you're so green. Have you seen the lithium mines that they have to dig to get your battery? It's a huge effect on the environment. In fact, have you seen what it would have, how we would have benefited from the pipeline? Literally, once the pipeline's installed, if it's underground, there's no environmental effect whatsoever,
Like
other
most,
than the fact that they dug it up and then reburied it. And usually they plant trees around it, put the grass back. They do everything they can to make it look like they were never there. I'm
Right.
betting you, asshole.
like Bocephus says, he can remember when diesel was 91 cents. I can too. I owned 5 semis and driving over the road back when it was that price.
I
But-
was 6, and I think gas was about 88 cents.
Okay, now you're going to show my age, right? I can remember when gasoline was 11 cents a gallon.
Yeah, and mine was 20.
My dad owned a gas station.
Mine was 23 years ago, not 43 years ago.
Yeah.
Let's
Let's see. That would have been, let's see, I'll be 61. So we'll say 56, 57 years ago.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
gas. Oh, that's when
No, he was a real nice dude, man. We partied all the time. What was Jesus like? We both got
Didn't
kicked
you
out.
help
We
him
both-
build the ark?
No,
You helped
that
Moses,
was
right.
that was cousin Moses that did that. But
Uh,
me and Jesus both got kicked out of school and suspended
mhm.
back in those days because we did run around with these things in the back windows and a bottle of Jack in the front seat, sitting in the parking lot of school.
You taught David how to use his slingshot.
Yeah, I did. Who do you think helped Adam name all the animals? When it got to a deer, I went, "Oh, dear."
How did T-Rex taste, man? I've always been curious.
You know, back then, the rifles weren't that plentiful, and that throwing that rock or that rock axe at it, it wasn't one of those things you wanted to go hunt all the time. But yeah, if you ever got one down, I'll bet the hind quarter on that thing was pretty good.
What was it, using a stone tablet for your homework?
Yeah, it was, but you know that touch screen on that stone tablet, it hurt your finger all the time.
Luke wants to have a citizenship party when he gets here.
And then we chased that guy we named Google back in all around the caves
Well,
because he lied to us every time he turned around.
yep. Yeah, Luke, we can have a citizenship party, but odds are, if we can get you here in November, you need to take some vacation, come up with me and meet Carl, and we'll do a smoke out.
That's right.
We'll get some deer, some hog. We'll get a whole bunch of meats. And we'll
Good.
just sit around all day drinking beer and smoking meat.
Right. Bocephus come up, you'll meet the rest of the network because everybody's coming up. Because if they don't, I'm going to have to drive down there, and Dan's going to have to drive from North Carolina.
I mean, it makes sense for you two to come down. Everybody else is already here.
Well, I'm waiting until it gets cold. Then I'm coming down there.
Well, I mean, it's technically still a little cold. We've only been sitting about 80 degrees.
Hey, no. When it's cold up here, when it's 0 up here, you guys are still 50 and 60 degrees down there. I
You're
can
not
handle
wrong.
that. I'll become the snowbird.
You're not wrong.
Right.
I mean, except for Snowmageddon we had this year. Oh my God.
Well, that's why we was coming back from church and I seen a couple of the Can-Am 3-wheelers coming down the road. I was like, oh, there's what I need. Damn right. That's what I need. Those things are badass.
Yo,
I don't
yeah.
have to. I won't have to worry about falling off of it.
Luke, you ain't got no deer. Oh, beer hookup. I thought you said deer hookup. I'm like, you ain't got no deer hookup. You may have good beer. I'll tell you, over there, they do have some good beers.
Yeah, when Luke gets over here, we are all going to have to get together. Luke and Larson.
Yeah.
Then it'll be a party in Texas, won't it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We'll have.
Yeah, Bocephus will be out of military by then.
Shit, we'll all go meet up at Bo Cephas's house. I'll buy a smoker. We'll smoke all day there, too.
That's right.
And what I don't mean smoke, I mean meat smoking.
Oh, Bocephus. Oh, he's my buddy. He's going to bring the
He's
shiner.
got Shiner.
Oh,
Double Texas beer. We got some awesome beer here. I can bring up Growler. Growlers are those itty bitty little beers, ain't they? I can make
Crystal, you could come on down.
I don't.
I've met Crystal a couple times. She's a sweet gal.
I can basically make a normal size soda can, beer can disappear in my hand. I'm pretty sure both Cephas over here could.
Crystal's so good. Where else you going to find a girl that we celebrated her birthday in a haunted mansion in Iowa with a black cake?
Oof, nice.
Oh yeah, it was awesome. But we had fun up there.
Oh Jesus, he makes his own whiskey.
Yeah, Nick says count in the HTX crew in whenever we go down there to hog hunt because they'll come up hog hunting.
Poured it on me. Go
And
on,
I know Dan will come and Vincent up here with me. That's nice having one of my hosts that's only 5 miles away.
Yeah.
Right. It's really cool. He walks into the restaurant, right? He's got his shoulder holster on and got his 1911 sticking in it everywhere he goes. So
as it stands, we've got a guy with a deer and a hog hookup and a whiskey hookup now. We got somebody with growler hookup, which is apparently gallon beer. I'll tell you what, the first event we have is going to be a hell of a party.
And we'll have to do it live to show everybody. See what you missed for not inviting your friends to come watch our shows?
Shit, we're going to have to pay Bo Cephas over there to rent his property out. 350 acres. We could do it all there.
Damn.
You're going to have to calm down.
But I actually want to go down there and see how big your deer are. My deer up here are big.
Bring it to the property. Sounds
good.
We
can bring it. We can bring it on.
Carl over here likes to smoke and make deer sausage and all that stuff.
Deer jerky. I do the ribs and I do the beef brisket up at BB's now. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Until you get a smoker that catches on fire. That wasn't cool. A pellet smoker that caught on fire.
Yeah. Sounds like our first event's going to be a hell of a party.
Yeah, we'll make the mark.
Yeah. Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, because let's see. Austin is how far from Dallas?
3 hours?
3 hours from Dallas?
Yeah, I think it's about 3 hours from Dallas.
Okay, it'd be about 11-hour drive for me.
But Austin is
cool. Do we
deer, hog, turkey, and all sorts? Oh, Jesus.
Now
we don't even have to buy meat. I can go over there like the week before and just kill everything.
That's what I was going to ask. He's got deer, hog, turkey, and all sorts of critters. What kind of license and tag do I need down there?
Hogs, we don't need any licenses. Deer, you need a basic hunting license. But
can you hunt them all year?
No, we do have deer seasons just like y'all.
Okay. I found out something last night you're going to get a kick out of. Sally Bright was one of our people in our chat room all the time, right? You've seen Sally in our chat room.
Yeah.
She came up to our investigation last night. There's another one of our chat people that showed up at one of our events. But she lives in Oklahoma, so I had to ask her the important question. The important question.
Oh, no.
Axis, you can?
Yeah,
I want to shoot one of them little bitty things.
I don't think they're so itty bitty.
Axis or small deer? They got the funky antlers.
This is an Axis deer in Texas.
Okay. He's bringing it up for me. Oh, damn.
These are Texas Axis deer.
Oh, damn. They got elk antlers. Them are my type.
So what I'm hearing is we got to go and have the event during turkey season.
They're bigger than whitetail?
Apparently. Texas, we get some big animals down here.
You actually have those things he's showing me a picture of on your property?
Yeah, he was saying this earlier.
Yeah, but the Axis deer I seen up here in a pen were little bitty things.
So what I'm hearing is we need to have the event during turkey season, so that way we can get turkey, hog, and access deer.
Yes. Oh my God.
That's a feast.
Hey, can I bring a tent and just live down on your property in the back? I could survive.
Country boy can't survive.
Yeah, me and my crossbow do damage down there real quick.
Yeah, it sounds like you need to come down here more than I need to come up there.
I can see that one's going to happen real quick. Like,
And these are apparently our white-tailed deer.
oh my God. I thought Texas had small deer. Now I got a question. In Texas, do they count both sides or just one side?
For the point count?
Yeah.
Both.
Okay. I know in North Dakota they count one side. So if a guy says he gets a 6-pointer, he's got a 12.
Point. Now, from what I know down here, it should be a
Damn, you should never go. Now I know why he's so big. He don't go hungry.
Man, I'm kind of hungry. Go fix that problem real quick. So that tells me when I go visit, I need to bring a shotgun, close range rifle, and a long range rifle, and a pistol.
Damn.
Hey, there's some ducks in turkey. All right, hand me the shotgun. Hey, there's a hog.
And we need fireworks. Oh, I can handle that up here.
Please, we're near Mexico. We can get plenty of fireworks.
Oh, hell, Missouri sells them like they're going out of style up here because Iowa can't buy them.
I got two shops near me.
Cool.
Yeah.
It sounds like I'm going to have to do some major work to my Subaru and put shock extenders up on it and put 32s all the way around it and the roof lights and everything and make it the Australian Outback Subaru.
All you got to do is get down here.
I'll do that. That Subaru gets good fuel mileage.
Yeah, better than my truck does. I promise that.
It still gets about 26, and it's all-wheel drive. So, and we have a warehouse down the road. I take it that's a fireworks warehouse.
That it is.
Yeah. I can see this one working out real good.
Yeah, so
that's why we love meeting people in our chat room on our shows and everything, because friendships build, and that's what, as you watch all our shows on the Bill of Rights Network, you find out all the hosts on here is one big family.
Oh, yeah.
And we designed it for that reason.
Yeah, we don't, a lot of the other networks that I've seen or been with, it's kind of do your own thing, be your own show, and minimal interaction. I've been real terrible with getting the weekly meetings up and running, trying to get used to my new job and work on my qualifications, but we do try and interact as much as we can.
And I get to talk to all the hosts before the shows and fill them in what's going on and who said what, and we kind of do that back and forth, but it's fantastic. And the people we have, the hosts we have, they brought a lot. Cameron started Second Amendment Ranch with me and stuff, and we did that. So I decided, we were on another network at the time. I decided, why not just start a Bill of Rights network because of the Second Amendment? Little did I know, within the first 2-3 months, the shows that we got that came over to our network from other networks would fit right into the First and Second Amendment. They worked out perfectly, didn't they?
Oh, yes. Oh, very much so.
I mean, I hate to say it, but I'm picky on who comes on the network.
Yeah, and I agree with it.
It almost has to be.
I don't want to flood, like, y'all don't want to watch somebody play video games. Y'all don't want to watch me sit here and play Minecraft for 4 hours and not talk to y'all, not interact. We want y'all to feel a part of this. The ranch isn't just there for me. We're trying to make it there for y'all and have this great plan and have this event and all these activities and different adventures with us. We don't want you being, we just watch them because they're funny to talk to, or, they do some goofy shit. They're auctioning off, getting their waistline waxed or their chest waxed or, shave the head, cut the hair.
But one
Stuff
thing
like
I
that.
did want to ask to our viewers out there, and they can post in the comment, we're different than a lot of networks where networks limit them to 1 hour shows or 2 hours right on the deadline show. Some of our shows, we go longer. We had one show the other night that went almost 4 hours. We've got a show right now that's coming up on 3 hours and everything. Does that bother any of our people in the chat room? That is what I would like to know, because I notice our viewership stays up all the way through the shows, which is a good thing.
Yeah. Like we want to make this we don't want y'all feeling like, oh, I have to be here for 3-4 hours, 2 hours. Why can't they do an hour? Yeah.
See, Crystal would watch you play Minecraft as long as you chat while you're doing it. He's done that before. He did on the world record. And
I also
Vosipa
did
says,
it-
keep it up.
I also did it shirtless on the world record. I think that's why I got a lot of viewership on that one.
Yeah, you did. You did do a lot.
I didn't think I was going to get a lot of reviews or like a lot of view time. And I turned around and watched it again. And holy shit, I had like 15 viewers the whole time. And I'm just
Right.
chilling here in my underwear playing Minecraft.
Right.
At
You know,
4
between the
a.m.
hours of 11 o'clock at night and 4 o'clock in the morning, he's sitting there playing these games and talking to everybody in the chat room and who he's playing with and everything, filling the time slot up while I was resting. And it was amazing, the viewership. It really was.
Bocephus wants to be a part of the world record doing a hog hunt.
We can arrange that. How good is your internet out there?
That's what matters. As long as you have good internet, we can do it.
Yes.
As long as you get good internet, we can set it
We'll
up.
put it this way. Do I have good signal on my telephone over your entire property? That's what I need to know. I can do the show live off of a phone.
I think that's going to make Carl come down here even
Oh,
more.
that's even. What better thing could we do than a live hog hunt?
Getting another veteran used to the veteran lifestyle and brought into the community here at the Bill of Rights Network.
And we're about helping veterans.
Oh, he has a good hotspot, so I mean that would work.
Oh, he's my new best friend. You will be part of it. We're going to arrange it, and we're trying to find more people that were going to help us and come on live at different times so that I don't have to spend hour
100
upon hour
hours.
upon hour going, what do I talk about?
Yeah, for those of y'all that don't remember, when we did the last world record attempt, we did get it for like a day, and then China had beat us.
2 days.
2 days. 2 days. China beat us by showing their shops selling their merchandise, whereas we put real content out there. Combined, out of the 178 hours we were live, or 173 hours we were live,
We were live for 171 hours, 29 minutes.
out of that time, me and Carl combined had 163 hours.
Yeah. And some of those were together hours.
Yeah,
not
those were
separate.
a lot of those were together hours,
Yeah.
but yeah, combined, we almost set the world record ourselves.
And that was in 7 days,
Yeah.
folks.
And
He took off work to do it.
I took off a whole ass week.
Yep.
To try and do this shit. And
Well,
we-
because you came up to Kansas City at the end of it when we
Yeah.
did all that. So,
but
and I
needed to
know
have time.
Luke and Larson's already agreed to come on as part of it, and their Euro times will help out a bunch.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, a bunch.
Oh yeah.
Because I'll tell you what, during that last world record, you all don't want to know how much coffee I drink.
Yeah, he was pissing coffee.
We'll put it this way. Folgers makes a coffee thing about that tall. My wife said we went through 3 of them that
Yeah.
week.
That's all he drank when I met him too. When I met him in person, coffee.
No, we can't be sleeping and streaming. There's always got to be somebody on there talking and live and doing stuff.
Yeah, we want real gaming. We'll do game. We
Right.
will do gaming for that.
If you all
because-
don't know how the first world record was set, there was a group of people in a living room that watched Game of Thrones twice, and then some episodes through there.
The
That's all they
second
did.
one- yeah, the second one we had set, then China beat us 2 days later, and then after that, it's like a world record Twitch stream.
Yeah. Well, after that, another China company came on that was selling cars
No.
and beat that one. It's at 259 hours, I think.
Is it 200? I thought it was 233.
No, I think it's 259, isn't it?
$259 hours, 46 minutes, 45 seconds.
That's why they call me the Wizard of Bod.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He remembers shit like that. I don't. He's good with numbers.
Yeah. But no, we have fun doing these when we do the live event. April in the chat room, she came on. She was on the world record. Her and her husband both saved my butt a many a night and stuff on there. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it's damn crazy. It is. It's a crazy time. But
No.
You figure-
It's crazier how long Carl wants to go. Why don't you go ahead and tell him how long you want to set the record, Carl?
we're setting the bar. I can't even show it on the screen. It's so far up. We're going 400 hours
Yeah.
and longer if we can. But my main goal is to hit 400 hours.
Yeah.
So it will be on, like they always said, on like Donkey Kong. No, it's going to be on. We're going to set the world on its end. I'm going to contact some TV stations and everything that will monitor us through this one. Crystal, you'll help? That's no problem, Crystal. That's
Yeah,
no
it's-
problem. All we do is send you a link. You come on here. I don't care if you talk for 2 or 3 hours about anything that's going on.
This is why we're stressing the importance of our Discord right now, because if you do want to help out, you're gonna find more and more of our information, our links, everything, all the donations, the merchandise, everything
Right.
you need to find for anything is going to be out of the Discord.
And
And
if
then
you
once
can
we get a
think of
website up,
anybody that would want to sponsor the live stream for 400 hours per hour or something like that, contact us with it, because we'll be putting content on here all the time.
I think I'm going to contact Death Wish Coffee or Black Rifle Coffee Company and be like, hey, we're going for a world record and we need some coffee to do this. You want to throw us a couple bags? By a couple, I mean about 10 a person.
But yeah, that's what we do, folks. We made this network to get information out to you so that you could listen and make a decision on your own, right? Not what fake news is telling you.
Everything
What
they
we
tell you-
say is backed up by actual
Exactly.
proof. All our
Exactly.
shows. That's one of the rules that I make with all the hosts. You have back up what you're saying. Actual proof.
Everything I say, unless I say in my opinion, I've got some statistic that I can pull up at some point in time. I remember a lot of my statistics off the top of my head. Most of them I'm off by just a couple percent, maybe 2, 3, but I can typically find it rather quickly as long as Google or DuckDuckGo isn't being a biased bastard for the day.
Right.
But we don't want, the mainstream media used to be, we tell you what happened, you decide how you feel about it. Now they tell you how to feel about it, you decide if it happened. We're going old school. We tell you what's happened. We talk about the benefits of the ranch, the education of the people. We try and bring you some interesting guests. We want to bring you real content that you can agree with or sympathize with and take it to heart, and you decide how I tell you all the time, at some point in time, I'm going to say something that pisses you off.
Uh-huh.
I promise. If you don't read a history book and get pissed off, you're reading the wrong books. Same situation here.
Yeah. And I mean, you see everybody that comes on here is a real person. We're not dressed up in suits and ties and the fancy background and all the equipment. If you've seen the area I'm sitting in, he's in his bedroom with a bigger area. I'm sitting in an area I can touch both sides of where I'm at, right? And the front and back, I can touch. So it's 6'3" that way, and about 5 foot that way. That's my studio here at the house.
My second monitor is arm's reach this way. Y'all are arm's reach that way. My wall sits right here. I don't have anything fancy.
Right. Here's it is, right here. A wrinkle in a green screen, but you don't see it on there. And there's the corner of the wall.
Yeah. We've been trying to get sponsors for a hot minute, but nobody seems to want to come through for us. But we're doing what we can.
Luke said he's going to get all dressed up next time. Oh, we'll tease him about that.
Very much
We will tease him. But yeah, you'll see us in here. You usually see me with this one. This is a veteran-owned business right here. That
We
I'm
love
proud of.
that.
I'm proud to
Typically,
say I'm the general manager of this business now. And
Typically,
partner.
when we reach out to any kind of sponsorships, any kind of people that we want to interact with, we want to go for the veteran community. We
Right.
do try and find other veterans like David, working at Minuteman Ordnance. He's a veteran. That's why I really want to back his company, back him up, and try and help him out. You know, Jim Mortimer, I don't know if he's a veteran or not, but he does really good work. But we're not sponsored by them. But I trust both of them, and I know David's a veteran with his veteran company, and I'm going to keep giving him shout outs, whether he knows about it or not. Now, if you know veteran companies that want free shout outs, as long as I agree with their products, I'll talk about it all damn day. They don't have
Right.
to send me a damn thing.
And if they want to send products, that's more power because we'll try them and we'll give them away.
Exactly. We're doing this for us to an extent. We want to do this more for everybody else. I mean, if you've got somebody you think is willing to, go for it, Luke.
Right.
I can get all dressed up next time, put them toothpicks down. Y'all some goofy bastards. But we do. I mean, if you think there's a way we can improve anything, let us know. Ladies, no, I'm not going to take my shirt off the whole show because I got too much green on this arm and this
I'm not
chest.
taking mine off. I got too many scars.
I already did this for y'all, so.
Yeah, he did. And the new contest that's coming up, they've already overlapped the 10 coming in to win the free t-shirt. But we're looking for 1,000 new followers on the Bill of Rights Network Facebook page and the Second Amendment Ranch Facebook page. We had to be up over the mark that was set the other day, 1,000 more on there, and I will cut my ponytail off.
300 and Mary will get a nose piercing. 1,000 and Carl cuts his hair off. At 1250, Luke dyes his hair. At
Pink.
17, yeah, Larson
Right.
will at 1750. Larson will shave his head, and at 2,000, Luke will chemically straighten his hair.
Right. And Luke's going to have all this done by a professional hairdresser too, live.
Yeah.
So
we always try and do something. I know for some of the viewers that are here, I know a lot of them are still following the other show, and I appreciate y'all doing that. There's been some drama between me and the other host for doing this at this time. I appreciate some of y'all coming over here and those who want to continue to support him. Good on you. Thank you. But those who have seen me in the past on my previous show know that I love doing the comedic stories, the stuff that makes you go, why the hell? And this is a more serious topic, which is why we try and do such goofy shit to lighten it up. I don't like having it be serious all the time. You know, we cover the stories that Carl brought to me because they do need to be talked about. They need, you need to have this education, but we also don't want you just being like, man, that really sucks. We want you being like, oh, he's a dumbass. He's going to wax his chest. Right. So we do want to have stuff to.
It helps our
Entertain.
network and all the hosts and everything on the Bill of Rights Network page and our Second Amendment page to get up there in some numbers. So
What was Bocephus? He was at 1,000 as well. What was Bocephus's? I didn't write that down.
I don't remember. Bocephus, let it go. Tell us, remind us. I'll have to go back and watch the show.
Yeah, I've got to write it down. I had 1,000 for Bocephus, but I didn't write down what it was.
I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, I know.
That was a long night that night. Damn.
Yeah, it was. I did not forget it. I just don't have what it was.
He didn't write it down. So when you see him, you get to smack him. Okay, Bocephus? I give you permission. And when you do it, I want somebody filming it.
I just know I had 1,000 for Bocephus.
Oh, to choose his chest tattoo. That's right. And that can be a big ass tattoo.
66341. Yeah, that's big ass. That's some good free advertisement right there.
No, Bocephus. I want you to send privately on the Bill of Rights Network a message. I gotta see him in a picture in his uniform.
Oh God.
I mean, I can imagine his shoulders and it goes down.
That's like, why I'm saying that's
with his hat, like drill sergeants always wore him, tilted, like barking orders.
That's why I'm saying that's some good free advertisement. Second Amendment Ranch with the guns.
Hey, there you go.
Every time he goes to the beach, free advertisement. Every time he goes to the gym and takes a shower, free advertisement.
Every time he goes out and shoots a deer, he can go see Second Amendment Ranch.
During the live hog hunt, Second Amendment Ranch.
That's right.
I'm really tempted
to
pay to
if we go hog hunting and you two get up there, damn, I got to squeeze between you. Shit.
Thankfully, it sounds like both of us have some fairly large trucks that you can fit
That's
in.
all right. You guys get to shoot them at the long range. I get to shoot the ones within 100 yards with a crossbow.
Yeah. And, of course, they're still wondering where your hats are at, Carl.
I haven't ordered any more of these. Do you all like these? I'm trying to get it where that, and then I got to send them to Cameron, and then he's got to send them back to me, or we can leave them down there. I'll sign it and send them to Cameron because we're going to sign them on the bill.
Yeah, if y'all want a hat, let us know in the comments. Let us know in Discord. Let us know in our chats.
Yeah, I bet you do drive a mega cab.
It's the only car or only vehicle you can fit in.
I know.
So if you do want the hats, let us know. If we get a good, decent amount of people, then we'll order them because with our merchandise right now, we can have, when you buy it through that website link on our Facebook or Discord, it goes straight through them. We don't have to spend the money to buy everything.
We don't have a big pile of it sitting anywhere.
Exactly. Oh, we got 3 people that want a hat so far.
Okay. Now it comes in the camouflage and it comes in orange.
I'm going to take note on how many people want hats.
Okay.
So, what do you think? 10 people? 10 people will order some hats?
Yeah, I'll probably get 7 of them in camouflage and 3 of them in orange. Yeah, because camo is going to come up real good.
Yeah.
But you can go to the Second Amendment Facebook page, Second Amendment Ranch Facebook page, and there is a pinned link at the top. You click on it, it'll take you to our Teespring store. Dana White. Thank you for joining, Dana.
Yeah, I told her.
Dana, you want camo or you want orange?
What about pink with unicorns? Can't have them as a.
The orange has black lettering on it with the American flag, as you all see. Let's see. Yeah, American flags over there.
Yep. So we got 4 for hats.
What about pink with unicorns?
I mean, you just got to get to Texas first, then you can get a hat.
I can find you a hat that's pink with unicorns on it. I bet I can.
I bet you can too. I bet it wouldn't be. I bet you we can get him one with a unicorn horn.
I bet I can get him a hat. And my granddaughter used to have a little bitty stuffed unicorn, a long one. We called it Uni, right? I'm gonna have it sewed into the hat so it hangs around, so the head's over here with the horn sticking out.
Oh no. So we've got 2 for camo, 4 hats in total right now. So if we can get about 10 people that say they want to have, we'll order some hats.
Right. Dana, that's no problem for listening. We're glad you jumped into the chat room. If you're willing and everything, let us know where you're from. We kind of like to know where all our listeners are from.
Because who's going to tell me anything? Fair enough.
Yeah. I could give him a real nice pink one. They ain't going to tell him nothing.
Yeah, other than that's
Yellow
a nice
polka
hat.
dot.
He wore an itsy bitsy teeny weeny yellow polka
Dot
dot hat.
bikini. Oh, damn. I'm old. I remember when that song came out.
Oh,
Oh, God. But,
oh.
Dogsy, I got Carl a little gift anyways. Uh-oh.
He found your weasel.
Oh, did he find my weasel? Or he got me a little bitty tank like I wanted to drive on the road.
Yeah.
And for all you didn't know, Dogsy in there is Luke from England that's going to be moving to Texas. And he likes restoring tanks.
Yeah. He's going to be doing, if we can get the ranch up and running, we plan on having an actual warehouse set up for him so he can shoot a show restoring old tanks.
Yeah.
On the ranch.
Dana White's from Colorado. Thank you for joining. Thank you very much.
So if you like tanks,
Yeah, we got
hopefully in
more
the next-
viewers now late in the show than we did in the beginning.
No, we had 12 in the beginning.
I know, but we did
We're
pretty
close. We are close.
good. We are close.
So if we can't get the ranch up and running in about 2 years, we do plan on having. Well, the ranch is going. Can I have a show blowing shit up?
Yes, you can.
He does have the property. If you got the tannerite, we can set you a show up. So if you want to have a show that I've been raising funds for it anyways. Okay, that's probably for your tank. Yeah. Bocephus, if you want to have a show where you're on your property blowing shit up, we can set you up.
Just contact me. We can set days, times up, and everything. Yeah, we can have fun with it. Because there again, it fits into the First and Second Amendment. The freedom of speech, showing what he blows up and telling about it, right?
Although I
And
do want you to
and
go
you're
down
gonna-
to, on the way to Galveston, there's this little shop that's got cannons for sale. I would like you to pick those up to shoot them as well. Just a thought. I mean, how better of a way to start off another Second Amendment show than with cannons and tannerite? And I'll tell you right now, tannerite's actually pretty cheap. You can get 10 pounds of it for $140.
And just think, you could start that show and take your frustration out on it.
He wants to blow up so he wants to blow a car up for his first episode.
You want a Geo Metro? Oh, them are cute little cars. Does it run? I get 35, 40 miles with those things.
So, yeah.
I need that to drive back and forth Texas. I got one better.
If he
If
wants
we
to
can
blow
get
it
a
up,
tow truck to haul it down, I got a 98 1-ton extended Ford van with a V10 in it.
I think we'd rip the engine out and restore the engine for that, though.
Well, I'd rip the engine out and sell the engine. It's worth more than the van.
Exactly. It won't be when I'm done. So, yeah, we'll get you a show set up. Get a hold of us at some point in time.
We got to get Crystal down there. She knows how to build a cannon.
Jesus. We got some.
We get everybody on this show now.
We got some destructive mofos here. I love it.
Hey, gotta love it. Gotta love it.
Everybody's all like,
And
I
then
want to blow this
I
up.
will
can help
top
you.
it. I will top it all off for the finale and fill a balloon up with hydrogen and set it out there at about 80 yards and shoot a flaming arrow from the crossbow.
We're going to get you a weather balloon.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about these itty bitty little.
There you go. Look.
He's already got 2 cannons. Why don't you have your own show? Yeah, you're getting a show set up.
Yeah, Bocephus. We can talk anytime.
Yeah, we'll get you a show set up.
Just send messages on Bill of Rights Network or Second Amendment Ranch, either one, or in the Discord that you're in the Discord now. send us messages in there. I'll set you up on a show. Because the nice thing about it, I own the network.
So yeah. No, as far as your balloon goes, we're gonna get you like the 20-gallon balloon to shoot.
Oh, have you seen one about this big around with hydrogen in it?
Oh, it goes.
Oh my God. That's why I wanted it 80 yards. I don't want to be near it.
Exactly. You don't want to blow hydrogen up.
I seen them do it with a bow and arrow. I want to do it with the crossbow. Hey.
So
We'll have to get a sponsor on the crossbow.
the fun part is he can do his destruction and hog hunts on the show.
Yeah.
He can go out, as long as we don't have another show. The network, one benefit is we're really very lenient about when and what you do, as long as you run it across us first. Hey, I'm going on a hog hunt tonight. Can I do it live?
That's
Go
right.
ahead.
All I got to do is send you the link. You can get you a good phone holder, internet, and you're set to go.
So,
Or a tablet.
you can have all the fun you want with your guns. I'll just have to come out a couple times to do some shows with you.
I'll have to come down there. Yeah.
Sorry, Crystal. Those are about $1,200 $1,200 to do. And he's got a GoPro, so he's all set.
Now, if he jumps in there and says he's got a helicopter, I got to go rob a bank and get the money, and I'm going to run to Texas.
Well, Cameron, I know you were talking about moving up here, but
we changed situations.
Yeah, Bocephus, he's up in
Come
Missouri.
on down or up.
He's up in Missouri, so he's got to come down.
Yeah. His neighbor
I'm
has a helicopter.
What the hell? I'm about 2 hours southeast of you, 2.5 hours southeast of you.
I am 8 hours if I drive the legal speed limit. I am 8 hours to Dallas. But I've never been known to drive the speed limit, so not even in my semis. If I had my semi, I could be down there in about 7.5 hours.
I'd say it'd take you about 9 hours to get down here.
Yeah, 9, 10, somewhere in there.
And apparently he does hog hunts out of his neighbor's house.
Oh, God. and what rank are you in as a drill sergeant? I'd say an E6, probably.
Probably.
Might be.
I'm going to go ahead and say he needs to get a show set up, blowing shit up, and then every now and again he needs to do hog hunts out of the helicopter, either live or pre-recorded, to show on his show.
E7.
So he's a E6 would have been a first, so he would be a chief in the Navy, which makes you I don't know the Army and Marines ranking.
Let's see. E6 is E5 is sergeant. E6 is staff sergeant. He would be
Sergeant Major?
No. Oh God. Google. I'm terrible. He's going to tell me before I get there.
Yeah, he's a gunny in the Marines.
Gunny in the Marines. I got to type in E7.
You better.
He already told me, probably.
No, Luke said SFC. I don't think that's right.
Sergeant First Class.
No, so he was right. Holy crap, Luke was right.
Yeah. I was trying to remember. My God, you know how long it's been since I've been in the Army?
It's been a minute since I've been in the Navy. So
I was in the Army before
I was born.
I would say everybody in that chat room was born.
Probably.
1979.
Oh, yeah, definitely before me.
So if any of you wasn't a glitter in somebody's eye before 79.
If you weren't a thought in your dad's nutsack.
And I was at Fort Riley, Kansas, and then I went to Istanbul, Turkey for a year. That was fun.
Yeah, I remember your stories about Turkey.
Oh, it's fun. It ain't the Istanbul there is now, I'll tell you that.
So Bocephus was born in 1987. So he's only 88, 89, 99, 192. 5 years older than me.
He would. Luke was minus 21 at that.
And Crystal's
Oh.
parents were still in school.
Yeah, your parents were still in school.
Oh,
Jesus, I was
Lordy.
born in 93. Yep. Like I said, man, me and Jesus, we got kicked out of school. Then we went hunting and drinking. So,
I mean, he could turn water into wine, so it makes sense.
yeah, man, every time we stopped by and scooped a bucket of water out, Mogan David all the way.
I love how people think MD is Mad Dog. No, it's Mogan David.
That's right. The good stuff.
Oh, that stuff would get you hung over to hell.
I know the headache you would have. Oh, God.
So much sugar. So much sugar.
But you could do like I did that one morning, did some stupid stuff, and then.
Well, Cephas, your job is to turn water into whiskey.
Yeah. I did some stupid stuff and then drank a fifth of whiskey and went to high school. I didn't make it past the first hour.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
No, I was in the hospital.
God.
Oh, yeah, man. I went out like a
poisoning.
light and woke up in a teacher's lap and looked up, and she was about 8 months pregnant. And I went, oh, shit, what did I do?
Alcohol poisoning is no joke, ladies and gentlemen.
No,
Don't do
it's
it.
not. I make fun of it back then because times were different. Like I said, a lot of times were different. We rode around with 30-30s, 12-gauge shotguns, 30-06s in the back window and left the truck unlocked at school.
Yeah. Don't drink and drive.
No, don't do that. That's bad.
Yes, it is.
But anyway, we're 3 hours, 20 minutes into it, and I know Cameron's got to go to work in the morning.
I know, but it was so fun having this show.
Oh, it is.
This
And
was a great episode.
thank everybody in the chat room, and thank Boone Cutler for coming on our show tonight.
And Bo Cephas for finally making it out. Looks like he's going to have a lot of future here on the.
He rides around with a 4570.
Is it the Marlin 1895 SBL? I have to ask that before we start shutting down. Is it the Marlin 1895 SBL?
And Crystal says our show is great all the time. Thank you, Crystal.
Yeah, we love having y'all here. And Bo Cephas, oh, son of a bitch.
It is.
The SBL. You dirty
Damn,
bastard.
he's got good guns.
That dirty bastard. He has the gun I've been wanting for a long time.
When you going to adopt me? You saying adopt him. I'm saying when you adopting me.
Bo Cephas, we look forward to getting you a show on here. Just give us a date and time that you want to start. We'll get it rolling. I'll get a hold of you through Discord. I'll get your number or something. We'll plan a live meet and greet kind of ordeal and hog hunt, stuff like that coming up here. I do have weekends off, which is one really nice benefit of this new job. We look forward to working with you a lot in the future. Again, everybody, we always appreciate you coming out here. We know our shows get a little long sometimes. This is the perfect example. We love entertaining you, and we do this for y'all. So we look forward to seeing you next time. Again, a shout out for Boone Cutler for finally making it on the show. Shout out for State of Mind for allowing us to use all of their music. We have permissions to use every single song they make. So Facebook, y'all can. I can't wait to meet y'all in person. Yep, we look forward to it as well. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Cameron.
And I'm Carl.
And this is the Second Amendment Ranch.